Expansion.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a bit of a special show tonight, man, because as you may or may not know, we are all unemployed. No, it's Friday night, man. We're hanging out, and my man Paulie B was like, "Man, we got to turn these cameras on and yeah, have a chat." And I was like, "All right, cool. What do you want to talk about?" He's like, "Oh man, and I look, I'll do it as long as we don't talk about ghosts." Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Expansion Podcast. My brother, my right hand man, my backup, my shadow for many years and many months, Paulie Balcaban. Welcome to the
Thank
show,
you.
man.
Thank
Big
you for
round of
having me.
applause, please, for my boy Paulie Balcaban in the building. We got there. But also, oh, you got a double.
Wow,
No
I got
one's
a
ever gotten a double.
I know.
Now, the cool thing, obviously, so if Paul is in front of the camera, there's got to be someone behind the camera. And the cool thing about tonight is we're bringing into the studio for the first time my boy, Eddie Monge, a.k.a. Eddie M. There it is, man. What's up, mi hermano? Say hello, man.
It's gone.
Yeah, exactly. Good, mi hermano. How you feeling?
Yeah, pretty good.
Are you nervous back there?
Yeah, a little bit.
So you fucking should be. No, all jokes, man. But thank you so much for having our back tonight, man. Eddie, for our people at home, man, Eddie is an up and coming. Well, people say up and coming, but yeah, up and coming. It works. Up and coming young producer in Sydney, man, and we've very recently we started knocking around, making some beats for a lot of the shit that's about to come as myself as an artist, but also Eddie as a producer and as an artist as well, man, because we are broadening our horizons at La Finca and Jewel, putting some shit down, man, so stay tuned for that. And again, Eddie, thank you so much for joining us, Manu. And I'll take this opportunity to say thank you to our foundation sponsors, Crash Claim, meeting friends by accident. I've been saying making friends by accident, but it's kind of the same thing anyways, my remix. And also shout out to the brothers at Q Corp Construction, man, doing real big things. We actually got a couple of cool announcements happening very soon in the supporter sponsor spectrum. So anyway, man, back to here in the studio, man. Paulie Balcaban, how you feeling?
Good. I feel really good.
You feel nervous as fuck.
I actually, yeah, I am actually nervous. Like I've
Yeah.
watched everyone else do it, and
Yeah.
thought I'd give it a crack. And at this point, I just went nervous.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, man, because, at least at the beginning, most people say, it was a bit... But then, a little bit into it, we kind of forget that the cameras are there and we just do our thing and talk about life and everything that we've been up to. But if you do feel a little bit... sorry, bro, I'm just rolling on my cord and I don't want my production...
It's all right. I'll
manager-
probably take over.
There it is. I don't want my production...
Yeah.
There it is.
What are you doing to my equipment?
Yeah, I don't want the production manager to kick my ass. You know what I mean? Anyway, guys, for those who don't know, Paul Balcaban, he's been working for me since what year, my brother?
Long ago,
You can't remember?
2014.
Fifth. Well, anyway, around that time.
Yeah.
In the nightclubs, in the events, side becoming full-time sort of quite recently as well, but with COVID and everything, has been a bit of a struggle for us. But we're doing our thing, man. We're still helping each other as much as we can and making things happen for us. And along the way, Paulie has taken an incredible amount of hits for me. He's done everything from work under the rain to be yelled at and screamed at and abused. He's also abused a lot of people too, by the way. And I've got the video footage for it.
Which will never get out.
What are you talking about, man? We'll never get out if it
I'm
was
not-
up to that. We'll never get out if it was up to that fucking cunt that was handling that project. But we've got it anyway. I had to do what I had to do. I got the footage, and you'll be able to see Paulie B terrorizing people. He's a bad man.
I was actually shocked at what I saw, what I was like.
I'm telling you, man.
Everyone, like, yeah, complains, but
Yeah.
fuck, I was fucked.
Yeah. Well, it's good for you to see, I guess.
I was a cunt.
Little bit, yeah. No, but all around, very loved, very much appreciated, man. And also responsible for a lot of the success I've had as a nightclub and events promoter in Sydney and Australia. Almost taking charge entirely of the entire Full Moon Party Australia project, but also a big part of our success. With all the brands, I Love Saturdays, Miami Fridays, Candy Nightclub, and also developing roles as it's sort of gone along. So from strictly events sort of coordinator type roles to more social media, content creation, all these things. And I think definitely someone to watch for aspiring people trying to get their name in the game, or trying to learn a thing or two. Check out Paulie's growth and his career. And we've got a few other things to announce, because also my man Paulie's been working a lot on his weight, on his health, which has been a struggle for many years. We're also going to talk about the death of his father and how that whole thing unfolded, which is quite confronting and shocking. I have not heard that story. I've heard bits and pieces of it. I really look forward to hearing it. And many other things, man, because, he's a big-hearted man. He's not the most probably open, I would say. You kind of keep things to yourself, which is fine, man. Respect
Cancerians. All the things up,
is that what
emotional.
it is? So your star sign's Cancer.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So anyway, in the process of tonight, if you feel like you want to phone a friend or do anything like that, I've got the solution here for you, my friend. This is Café Patron. For those who don't know.
Soon to be sponsor.
I wish. Welcome. Coffee-flavored tequila. And since we drank so much tequila last night with Victor Valdez El Mariachi, salud, papa, we had to have a bowl of tequila, man.
I saw.
Yeah, you saw up close.
In fact, I'll probably make a whole movie on that.
Anyway, we're keeping with the tequila vibe because I do like tequila. So salud, cheers to everybody at home. Cheers, Eddie. Cheers, Paulie. You got alcohol issues when you're drinking by yourself.
I know.
No, not at all.
But you're not really a big drinker, are you?
No, not at all. No, it's not a thing. It's almost like it's a moment in time. It's almost like sometimes I like having a drink to commemorate a moment, or to, very much so as a nightclub promoter, you want to sort of shake hands with birthday people, customers, and people celebrating, because at the end of the day, that's what we're there for. We're there for the good times, and that's a great thing, but you still got to do the right thing and, have a shot with someone or whatever. But beyond that, I'm not a drinker, far from it. You'll never catch me sort of, I can't even remember the last time I was drunk. I should remember, but not too many. But last night was, there was a vibe.
A vote party.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So Paulie, brother, let's go back to all the way to the beginning. Yeah, as I often like to do, man, sort of to ease our way into things. You're born in Australia.
Correct.
Your parents are from where?
So they are Armenian,
Uh-huh.
but there were massacres in Armenia.
Yep.
And they all moved to Egypt.
Sure.
And from Egypt, they migrated to Australia.
Okay, cool.
So we're not actually Egyptian,
Yeah, I
but
get you.
all my
Yeah.
family is still there. I've got a lot of family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And you've been
Interesting.
more than I ever have.
Yeah, spend some time in Egypt. What a place. But all right, cool. So yeah, so little history lesson, which I'm not too aware of, but the Armenian, massacre of the Armenian people, mainly by the Turks, right?
Correct.
We're talking, I think, fall of the Ottoman Empire, late 1800s, from memory, early 1900s.
Early 1900s, yeah.
Yeah. And then the Armenian people were displaced, left without a territory for many, many years. And they migrated all over the world, including...
By foot.
By foot, yeah. Well, at least to Egypt they could.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to Uruguay. Because even in Uruguay, in my country, there's a big Armenian community. They've kind of been absorbed into the sort of strong Latin American culture that we have in Latin American countries, because there's a lot of Arabs as well through Brazil and everything, but you wouldn't really know it. But, yeah, so a lot of Armos in Uruguay as well, a lot of Armos in LA. Rest in peace to my brother, Vic. Vic Vartan, an example of a man and a good example of the strong Armo genes, which have been carried all over the world. So, mum and dad, Armos via Egypt, but you're born in Australia.
I was born there, yeah. Here, sorry.
Yeah, you're born
My
in
parents
Australia.
were born in Egypt.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
I was born here, yeah.
And Sydney, yeah?
I was born here,
Sure.
but they migrated to Melbourne first off.
Okay,
Then
cool.
the parents came to Sydney,
Okay.
and that's when we
Sure.
became Sydney.
What area are you from, brother?
Originally Mascot, where I'm actually
Okay.
living now. So
Sorry-
that was
sorry
the
to hear.
beginning.
Sorry to hear.
Oh, Mascot was fine back in the day.
Mascot's not bad. Shout out to everyone at
Yeah,
Mascot, man.
Jural's the life now.
Oh, it is, bro. Yeah, halfway there. Paulie's already got a room with his name, which is highly disputed by another
Paco.
contingency.
The war has begun.
Paco Godinez, he's laid claim to our guest bedroom here at La Finca. There should have been a couple more bedrooms, and I think we're actually...
Because 10's not
In
enough
one room.
bedrooms, eh?
No, but yeah, so Mascot is a place. So Mascot Primary, is there such a thing, or?
No, I was actually Ramsgate after that when I went to primary school.
Okay.
Well, babies when we were Mascot, but primary school was St. Finbar's. I don't know anyone there. I forgot everyone. And Cogram Marsbrothers for high school.
All right. So they're both Catholic.
Correct.
Okay, cool. So Catholic school and high school are bringing.
Yes.
Okay. And were they unisex or, were they co-ed or?
Co-ed, we missed out in high school.
Oh, okay,
Like
cool.
ours was the first year being an all-male boys' school. It used to be co-ed.
Oh, wow.
And then I went to, all-male boys.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
How would you describe your childhood? Public school, high school? How would you describe all
Primary
that, brother?
school, if I can recall, I hated it.
Uh-huh.
Like back then, like for example, I'd take lunch and I'd be teased. Would have white feta with olives, and they'd say, "Oh, you got cockroaches on your food." And
the whole walk
right
thing,
now,
yeah?
I'm looking at it now, and I'm like, "You guys, motherfuckers, pay $20 for fucking
That's
sandwich
right,
now."
yeah.
I was bullied a lot. I was always big. I was bullied, and I used to remember lunchtime crying. High school was better. Made more friends.
Why did you get bullied in primary school?
Weight loss. I mean, not weight loss. Weight.
So you were a big baby.
I was a big baby. yeah.
Okay, so you carried the extra weight all your life.
Correct, yeah.
All right, sure.
And to top that off, my brother came to the same primary school. And he was a bit of a hothead that would...
Older brother,
a bully.
younger brother?
Younger.
Okay.
So then I was being picked up because I was the easy target.
Okay. So
Which-
you were the softer of the two.
The softer,
Balcabans.
correct, yeah. But the thing is, like, I learned from that. Like, and that would
As
be
we do.
start of a emotional journey.
Sure. Because you are a very emotional man.
I can be.
You hide your emotions, but you're a very
But
emotional man.
you have been teaching me to not bottle it up.
Yeah, that's right. You
Like,
don't
to
wanna
be
do
honest,
that.
I've changed a lot because of you, of your teachings.
Oh, man. Well,
Like, thank
power to
you.
man. Thank you. God bless you, man.
That's
Gracias,
it.
bro. Yeah, well, for you to say that openly, it means a lot, man. Because in between us, amongst ourselves, we know we exchange things all the time.
And
Lots of love and
throughout, we're going to talk about what actually happened recently, which I came to you for help for, if you recall, and you know
Sure.
what I'm talking about.
I think
that helps me a lot.
Which
because, well, I'll come to it.
All right, no problem.
So
No, you can go there, man. Yeah.
in high school, I was a bit of a homebody, a mother's boy,
Big mama.
a big mama boy.
I know your mama, man.
Yeah.
She's a character. Yeah, man. Saludos.
She back then in high school, my parents were getting divorced, and in that time, I hated my dad for a very long time. Right?
You hated him,
Yeah, because of what happened, like the way he treated
Yeah.
I was a mama's boy.
of course.
And then after that, she remarried, right, to Alex and my brother and Tia,
Sure.
father.
Sure.
He was a prick. He
Oh,
was
really?
a cunt. And I spoke to my sister about it recently, and I felt bad because I didn't want to say that to them. And it was hard to can't tell them where I was coming from because
Yeah.
that was years of pain in high school. Years of pain. Where,
Formative years. That's the bitch.
yeah. And
What was the old man's name? What was the stepfather's name?
Khalid.
Shout out to Khalid, you prick. You said it.
I'm sure he's nice now as we
good
grow.
man. Yeah, I'm sure.
we learn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
A diplomatic
Disclaimer.
answer. And
Yeah.
I found at lunchtime I used to go to the library,
Yeah.
and not to learn anything, but to find what comics they had.
Oh, okay.
So that was the beginning of my comic book days.
Oh, okay. So that's high school.
That's high school, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And in that period, having this stepdad, a lot of things happened,
Yeah.
which made me resent family and changed me a lot.
How's that?
Well, New Year's, so they used to fight a lot. Like my stepdad and mum,
Sure.
to a point like, because I was becoming a teenager. Like, I think I was about 15.
Sure.
So 18, one New Year's, because they were always fighting. One New Year's, like, I was working at Kmart. I had $10 to my name, New Year's Eve. They had broken up. You don't know this story.
I don't know any of these.
No,
stories.
you don't know this story. This is gonna tell you who Paulie B became when he became Paulie B. So they had a fight. I thought it was all finally over. We had little baby Alex. My brother was away with my uncle. My mum goes, "Oh, you better leave because your stepdad's coming," and she knows how much I hated him. Like there was a point where I went to a chaplain and said, like, to the police station, "Herschel, lock me up because I'm gonna kill the guy."
Whoa.
That's how serious it was. And he gave me some good tactics. They called a chaplain, obviously, because I'm a teenager, young kid. Talked to him, and he gave me good tactics. And so this is New Year's. So I leave. I go to Brighton. Don't know where else to go. Brighton is at $10. I got a kebab. And then I sat on the beach, Brighton Beach, and I'm going. And then when you see all these families,
Yeah.
yeah, fun. It fucking broke my heart so bad. Like, I was a loner because I was a homebody. Like, I didn't have any friends. I was working Kmart full time. I decided to end my life
Whoa.
because I was so lonely. Loneliness is the fucking killer, right? And the way, because I was so lazy, I was gonna swim to the national park from Brighton, and I know I was gonna drown because I couldn't swim that well. And then something in my head just started screaming at me, don't even think about that. Don't even do that. So I went home and cried my eyes out. And then that's when I decided, no, I'm never going to feel this way again. I felt New Year's was fake. Things like that, celebrations. It put me off.
Yeah.
And that sort of...
You lost faith in
the
family
so like,
celebration thing.
I don't know if you've noticed, like, I don't give a fuck about New Year's. Like, I care that I'm with you guys now. That's changed a lot.
Yeah.
But for a very long time, I didn't give a fuck about New Year's. What New Year, new fucking other night?
Yeah, well, we haven't celebrated a New Year's outside of work for you with me 5-6 years, and for me 10 years.
Yeah.
All my New Year's Eve have been spent, making money on in Darling Harbour. You get what I'm saying?
So that changed me a lot. Like, for me, like, it's hard to explain. Like, when you're surrounded by people, like, some people don't get it. But for me, like, and I've spoken to my mum about this situation, this case.
Yeah.
Like, for me, like, it might sound minute to some people, but to me, it meant a lot.
Well, I mean, hold on a second, man. I mean, contemplating taking your own life, it's not the most uncommon thing in the world, but it's highly uncommon. I mean, I've never thought about it. And I'm not trying to, make myself to be a sick cunt or anything, but I just haven't been there. So I don't want you to downplay that whole thing as it wasn't a big thing. I mean, to be, especially as such a young man, nowhere near sort of, the excuse of a midlife crisis or all of those things, to already be contemplating taking your own life, I don't think that should be downplayed in any way, shape or form, my brother. So,
And that's
please continue.
That's what created the Paulie B that you know today. Well, I'm still growing and learning new things.
Well, everything makes us who we are today. The good, the bad, the small, the big, all those things.
And that's where I learned to talk to everyone, like, just get to know it, because there is other people that are lonely. And that the fact that a simple hello might, hey, this guy's talking to me, or things like that. And that would spread to the next person, that would spread to the next person.
Yeah.
That there are people that seem different to society, but yet back then I'm talking about like that. Okay, now like everyone's different. I don't want anyone to be the same. That society might not accept these people because they're different.
Yeah.
And that's where that I learned that nah, I'm not going to be that person.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing I can give you credit for, definitely, as many other things, as I've already stated, and many more to come. Is that I've always noticed you definitely are there for people when they need you, because a big part of our role with this club thing, nightclubs, is obviously we're dealing with people that are going through emotions. There might be breakups happening even on the night in the club. There's people drinking alcohol. Some people even take drugs. And sometimes, just as you would in everyday life, you've got people who are, for all those reasons or any other reason, feeling emotional and down and whatever. And I've always noticed that, Big Paulie B gravitates towards those situations and honestly helps those people out and diffuse the situation. Like I've even seen you take people home, go out of your way for all of these people, and being very aware and very conscious of these kind of scenarios, man. So full power to you on that.
Thank you.
And I think that's what's so important about life, is these bad things that happen to us. Nobody wants to go through them, but those who have had suffering and pain, your brain is rewired differently. You get what I'm saying? And you've learned what you've had to learn, and then you then can not always, but you can become that person to help out similar people who have gone through or are going through what you went through. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like life prepared you to.
Well, and that's what I appreciate about that happening to me, because I think, to be honest, like if I was to meet you and I didn't go through that,
Yeah.
I don't think we would have connected so well.
Sure.
Because for me to accept your teachings, and
Yeah.
you are a good teacher,
Thank you.
you have a lot of people under your wing that if I didn't think the same way, I don't think would have connected and me where we are today. Like,
Yeah. I very quickly notice when I am crossing paths with people who have had some darkness as well as the light. Often you come across people who haven't had that, and they will probably consider themselves lucky, and maybe they are, but they tend to be quite superficial because, life for them has been between here and here. You get what I'm saying? Whereas people who have had those big lessons, their life is so much more.
Yeah.
It's got that depth, and even some people are born with it, the whole old soul thing. But for most of us, it's a learning process, all these experiences. And in my opinion, also, none of these things are by chance. There are no coincidences in life. Everything happens for a reason. And even though at the time it is extremely hard to see that purpose or that lesson that we need to take out of that, whatever situation we're going through, when we come out of it, hopefully we will always come out of it much stronger and better prepared for others, to help others, but also to be able to overcome similar downfalls and situations which will no doubt continue to happen, because that's life.
that's right.
Yeah,
And that's what I appreciate. Like, I'm glad I went through what I did, because there's a lot more pain after that. And do you know what? Like, every time there's a negative in my life, it's like, cool, what have I learned from it? Like, what can I learn? Why did I put myself in a position where I'm upset?
Yeah.
What did I do wrong? I blame myself,
Yeah.
because I let it happen. I put my guard down. And sometimes you have to put your guard down, but other times, like, you just know the answers.
Yeah. Well, my brother, I mean, if everyone was less of a victim and saying, why me, and we've all been there, let's face it.
Yeah.
If we all switched and changed the channel from why me to, okay, cool, what do I have to learn? What have I done wrong? And what am I going to make sure never happens again to me and to mine, to my people? Then I think it all becomes a lot easier to deal with. I'm fighting with this cord today. Man.
Why are you fighting with my cord?
No, but Paulie, please let's continue with your timeline because so you're about 18 or whatever. You haven't
Okay.
really entered the proper workforce full time and all.
No, I was a casual then, but then
In Kmart,
yeah, I did become full time in Kmart.
dream job.
No, it taught me a lot. Retail taught me a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I think you're either starting off at, or normal people, Macca's,
Yeah,
and or retail.
Yeah,
I was lucky enough to get Kmart. I actually went to a management in Kmart, but the hours were shit. I was basically at one stage, like I did the maths, right? I was working for $5 an hour for the hours I put in, not having a lunch break. Why am I doing that?
Yeah.
So that's when I went to civic transport, where
okay.
I became a sales rep.
Sure.
I was shit as a sales rep.
Oh, okay.
Because you know why? Because I'm too nice.
Yeah, you got to be a bit of a shark.
When it comes to, Ruben, like,
And that's why motherfucking Ruben Mass and motherfucking Pavel Mulet.
that's why I have a pallet of fucking sanitizer in my house.
Man, them boys can sell ice to an Inuit.
But you know what?
You can't say Eskimo anymore. It's rude.
And that's what I like.
Inuit.
I've heard them. I love the way they speak.
Oh, really?
Because that's them. Sales.
Sure.
They're so good at it.
Yeah. I think it's part of the culture as well. You know, being Uruguayo, being Latino. You know, we whisper sweet nothings into people's
Yeah, your
ears,
accent's
you know?
wow.
Yeah,
damn.
that's right.
I'm trying to get that accent to working with you
No,
guys.
don't
but
do
no.
that, man. Don't even
Je
try.
m'appelle.
No,
No, what's that French?
That's French, motherfucker.
So
I'll tell you something funny, man. Whilst we're on the topic of that, I don't know, it just came to me. But most of my adult life, and I have had the pleasure of being with some, attractive ladies, mainly thanks probably to my career, but it's true. No, what I was going to say is I've often been asked to do it in Spanish, in español.
how do you
Yeah.
do it in Spanish?
Well,
What are the words you use?
well, everything. But what I'm saying is, they don't want you to speak to them in English. They want you to essentially fuck them in Spanish. Right, Eddie?
Eddie, do you want to add to that? Like, what? Have you done the Spanish fucking?
Nah.
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 Straight out.
Crikey, eh? Fucking.
Don't worry. Is it?
Bogan,
What are you, Eddie? What are you?
I'm Salvadorian.
What are you?
Let's have it.
Fuck is what are you? What are you, man?
Is he known as a chinko? What is that?
What?
I was just going for
Chicano? No.
Chicano.
No,
Nah,
because
Mexicans.
okay. So last night he had a bit of a informational download, because Victor was explaining to
I
us
learned so much.
about the Mexican culture mixed with the States. But no, they're a little bit further down. Salvador is just down from Mexico,
Okay.
still in the Central American isthmus. That's a word for you. Above Panama, that's Salvador in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, Eddie.
Salvadorian people.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
got it wrong.
Shout out to all the Salvadorian community in Sydney, Australia, and the world, man. Got a lot of Salvadorian brothers, good people. Another country that gets thrown in the big sort of narco, well, even though narco, but the whole gang culture thing because of MS-13 and all that. But beautiful people, man, loyal people, great food, and lots of struggles, but nonetheless great people, man. In Salvador, the saviors in Salvador. That's what it means. And a big part of that Latin American family that we have all over the world. But sorry for digressing, man. I keep doing that a lot in these shows. But mi hermano, por favor.
What do you think that
you're
is? What is it? Because your alcohol problem or
No,
something else? Your cigarette, maybe? What? Something else?
nah, not at all. Oh, you mean because of the oil? No. You're safe. Hasn't kicked in yet. No. Paulie, but so Civic Transport, right? That's the company you've been working with all the way up until you started full time in the
Correct.
events with me. So that's a long time, puppy.
Yeah. So I was actually lucky, because I had a good rapport with everyone. I was nice.
Yeah.
After watching that video, I don't know how to think I'm nice, but because I was so shit in sales, they offered me an operations role, and from there I became administration manager.
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, it was good.
Awesome. And how many years is that? It's a long ride, man.
11 years, 12 years.
Okay, cool. Wow. Devotion. I was part of the transport industry once too, the freight industry. Once
Really?
myself. Yeah. I had a job at Federal Express. They sacked me. I don't know why.
Was it because you
A
went on a
story
long
for another.
vacation?
No, it was actually a little vacation. They implied that I did something that I didn't do. Ended up in court, and I was exonerated. And then what you're referring to is the second time around, but by then, actually, that was my last full-time job was at Allied Express. So we're
Wow.
freight company brothers. Allied Express going all the way back to 2001, like 2001. Since then, it's all been, working and hustling and music and whatever else, getting in trouble as much as I can.
Shit. And you've got some good tracks, like amazing tracks.
For
Let me correct that.
for what?
For all the music that you
Ah,
are
music.
creating, yeah.
Oh, well, thank you, man.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm actually upset with you that you didn't begin earlier.
No one is more upset than I am at myself.
Oops,
my brother,
sorry.
believe me. Yeah.
Let's drink to that.
No, yeah. No. That's all good, man.
I
It's,
guess that
part
was
of the
your lesson
process.
as well, yeah.
Yeah, man. Long journey. The usual life's stresses and pressures and things, but a combination of internal and external factors, and here we are today. But speaking of music, now we've got Eddie here with us as well.
Yeah, Eddie.
It's been an awesome ride. In these past few short months, man, the last 2 or 3 months is to rediscover, my voice, my flow, and my love affair with rhyme and with music, combined with lots of DMT as well, THC, all of the music angels. But also working with my brother Laps. Shout out to Laps in New Zealand. Shout out to the entire Sasan family. My brothers, my sister. In Auckland, New Zealand, incredible world standard, world champion hip hop and break dancers, and my sister Ruby, an amazing singer. Check her out, Ruby Sasan with a C. But yeah, so with the brother Andrew, we're making some beats and getting shit cracking too. So I'm super excited. But I want to tell 2 stories, right? And I'm going to tell you what they are, and you can either fuck that, scratch that, because it's your show, and go somewhere else, or we can do like a combination, because one story is me meeting you, not as a brother, as a worker, as a colleague, but
Who's this gringo?
yeah, at Tequila nightclub in Liverpool, circa 2011, let's say. And then another one is how you came to be a part of my team. A few years later, should I proceed, or do you wanna give your?
Are you
angle
sure it
and
was
all
Tequila
those
that we met?
things? No.
No, I think... No, it was the other one. It was all your Spanish clubs, really. I think I met you at Baramba.
A la cita.
La Cita.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah,
But then
perhaps. It's all
I
at
was...
the same time.
Who's this guy? Like MC Rafa.
Yeah.
There, but we didn't really talk then.
No.
It was Tequila that we took because, yeah, you were more
Ah, okay,
involved,
cool,
weren't you?
Cool. No. The first event that I would say that I ran, I got out of jail in 2010 after serving 7 years, and the first one to give me a job as an MC was a couple gigs that I did for my boy Nino Brown. Shout out to Nino and to Don Juan in the Cross. But the first major gig residence was with Silvana Guerrero at Sangria at Marconi Club, sorry, at Sangria. And then my boy DJ Tickles, he launched OMG, and I became the MC for that as well. But my first proper nightclub that I ran was at La Cita on Fridays, and then quickly that became Tequila in Liverpool as well. So that's probably why I'm getting my wires a little bit crossed. But I remember this big friendly guy, always dressed kind of funky, always wearing some sort of a hat or something that would just make him stand out from the crowd. And particularly when you're on a stage, you kind of see a sea of people, and but at least for me, things always pop out, and I think because I'm quite observant or whatever. But I just remember seeing you showing up with all these funky hats and shit, and I was like, oh, cool. I like big boys that can still, rock
Yeah,
it,
the big
you know?
boys.
Yeah, and the one thing I remember from there is, one of the things that I used to do and probably still do without knowing it is, bigging up the DJs, because that's what we MCs do. And it'll be like, man, my boy DJ Don Juan on the ones and twos, man, my boy DJ Tickles on the ones and twos, whatever. And then I remember having a quick exchange with you, as I probably do with many people, especially those days, sort of running around and I remember you said to me, "What's the ones and twos?" Right? That's the story, right?
What is the ones and twos?
What is the ones and twos? And I looked at him and I said, "The turntables, 1 and 2." And he just went, "Oh."
What year was that?
2011. 2010, 2011.
See, I think a time frame is...
Could be 2012.
It could be earlier.
Unless,
I'll tell you why.
Yeah, it could be 2010.
Actually, no, 2012. No, 2011.
Yeah, around there.
2011.
Yeah, around there. Crazy times.
Because I actually... get this, Eddie.
Put the camera on me, punk.
I inboxed you for a job.
Uh-huh.
And what's funny now is I got the standard line that we give. Which is fair enough. Like, come support the club.
Yeah.
Get to know everyone. Let's see how you are.
Yeah. Because we get hit up by a lot of people.
We do, yes. And then I was like,
yeah.
This is what he did to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's but far from showing any disrespect to anybody. I don't think I've ever given anyone a job from writing in an inbox to me and saying, "Hey, man, whatever." It's always been, people making the approach via a conversation, different story. But the problem with all of that is you're not really showing much intent or interest or whatever. It's like, the same thing happens with DJs and even with artists. By no means am I trying to tell people don't get at me or don't get at us for anything. Far from it. But definitely the face-to-face approach, the show up, the support thing, the come check it out, make yourself known, let us feel your energy, your aura, how you look, how you present yourself. I mean, I think those are all super standard things that no one's needs me to say it, but there you were, not getting a job from me.
But
Yeah.
what happened was actually I wasn't working in clubs at the time.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to become a manager on boat parties. I don't know if you know this story.
No, I don't know this story.
Okay, cool. The reason why I was working in the club.
Okay, so
that's
this is how you got into the events industry.
Correct, yeah.
Nightclub, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the story.
Hospitality.
Back in the day. So basically, shout out to Craig Mitchell. He said, "Why don't you get an RSA? Because I can get you a job on a boat being a manager."
Sure.
And I said, "All right."
On the weekends.
On the weekends, yeah. And what happened was I met Michael Stevenson. Shout out Michael Stevenson.
Shout out to Michael Stevenson, man.
At Sin City.
Uh-huh.
And I started working...
On the boat?
No. I had to get an RSA.
Oh, okay.
So I started working for Michael Stevenson for free.
Sure.
I was picking up glasses. Like, I had nothing else to do on a Saturday night. Let's get real.
Just learning the craft.
I was like in a stage where I overclubbed and I wanted to get into the field. Started working for free.
Yeah.
Then he started paying me, which I was so grateful for. Like, it was next to nothing, but wow, I still got paid. And from there, you guys came into Sin City with the bank.
Yeah.
You and what was his name? The guy that forgot my name, DK.
Deeks.
Shout out DK.
shout out to the brother Daniel DK Thomas. I said
and also
it right.
watch his podcast with us.
I've been copping a lot of shit from people because I kicked off the podcast with Deeks. I don't know what I said. Daniel DK, whatever.
Daniel DK.
I fucked it up, but I got it right.
I could have edited it out, but no, I wanted it to be real.
That's the way it is, brother. All good. No love lost.
Michael Stevenson left Sin City. We had Karma come in.
Sure.
They started to rent the venue.
Yeah.
After that, it closed down. And then I went to Heaven at Helm. Thank you.
Helm Bar.
My memory's not that great.
That's all good.
Which, shout out to me, I never really drank at these clubs.
Sorry to hear, bro.
I'm pretty proud of who I am.
Yeah, congrats.
don't drink, kids. All right, drink,
Square head.
drink.
I don't trust you anymore.
And then guess who walks past? Who are you with? You're with someone.
I can't remember, man. I was probably on a raiding party, you know, sort of checking out the
Yeah.
lodge, checking out the
But you
area.
go to me. Yeah, no, because you knew me already. You knew my work ethic. We worked
Yeah.
together for a bit because I was doing the scanning.
No,
and
plus
everything.
I'd seen you at the cross.
Yeah.
And I like what I saw, man.
Thank you.
Mm.
Too bad it was a lie. Nah.
Yeah.
But
No.
you said come work with me for me New Year's, and I said no. I already had commitments, and that was working on a boat for that guy.
Yeah.
That didn't go well. That fell through. But who cares? I had a reputation now at the clubs,
Yeah.
and then I moved over to Margaritaville
That's when you joined the dark side.
on the Friday night.
Yeah.
Dark side. That was the best side.
Yeah, I know, man.
That
Yeah,
side,
we're
like
definitely
you guys,
the good guys, man.
like
yeah.
Michael Steven taught me a lot, but you guys took me that extreme extra step. Like the disciplines I've learned, and I do fuck up. Everyone fucks up.
Everyone.
But the way you guys, especially you, like I'd call you the father and DK the mom.
Shout out to
DK
the
the
mom.
mother.
Actually, DK would agree to that to some extent. I don't think he'll agree with mum, but he calls it the president and the vice president, right? I think that's what we are on the chat, no? Full respect to Deeks, though, man, because in
and
no
the
way,
treasurer,
shape, or form do I
Anna.
want to make myself out to be number one or anything like that. But
That class looks empty. Or is it half full?
No, we've got a good buzz going, man. We're
Yeah?
all right, man. Yeah,
Ah,
I don't want to fuck it up too much.
Friday nights was you. and me.
No, but what I want to say is that's when, because you know when you're running companies and businesses and brands and whatever, you're constantly looking for people to do the work. You know, you're constantly looking for opportunities. That's what you would call it, because let's face it, as a business owner, a good employee, a good worker, someone that's going to bring X, Y, Z to the table is an opportunity to grow, to an opportunity to offload responsibility, to delegate, you know, an opportunity for someone to come in and help take your business to where you want it to go and all of that. So when I was at the cross, I saw you doing your thing, and you know, the big boy, big-hearted big boy at the front, shirt, tie, you know, the same big boy that I'd seen at Tequila, you know, again, that sort of...
The shirt and tie never changed.
Yeah, that little bit of flamboyance and whatever, but mainly the hosting aspect of it, because, you know, a lot of, well, at least the way that I like to run my clubs, which is probably different to a lot of the clubs out there, is I want people to feel welcome and good and warm and friendly atmosphere and vibe as they approach, not even, let alone inside. But whereas most nightclubs, it's almost like they get a kick out of, or they've instilled this culture of,
Yeah, I know,
fuck you,
yeah.
you're lucky to get into this
Yeah, that's
place.
right,
And
yeah.
all right, I've never worked with that, never ever. And so then when the ever running or ongoing discussion of who's going to do what and who can we use for this, and you know, and oh, we need a new manager or a new door person or whatever, then that's when all these people sort of come into your mind and you go, I remember that guy, man, let's get him in here. But I think it wasn't me that made the actual call, did I?
No, you were.
Okay. A message on Facebook.
No. I think I came to you, visited you, and oh man, sorry, Pato.
Yep.
Who was your manager at the time?
Pato.
Pato, yeah.
Shout out to Pato. man.
Because you got a friend called Paco.
Pato, yeah.
He was,
Don't be racist.
because I think, were you away then when I started?
Oh man,
No, you were away. You were away.
Gone,
That's who you were with in News. So he met me through you.
Oh, okay.
And he came to the cross, so he knew who I was.
Yeah, okay.
And then we
There
had
it
Friday
is.
night. We had TGIF.
Yeah, thank God it's Friday.
Did we?
Yeah.
Was that the?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And
Margaritaville.
it was Manx, and it was just us three for
Yeah.
Friday. And I did the street, and I loved it. Like,
Yeah.
like talking to, like, to be honest, like, as if everyone knows, I'm the the club guy.
Yeah, of course.
I actually liked being outside the front
That's right.
because I got to see everyone walk in,
That's right.
walk past.
That's right.
I had so many people that I spoke to, and I was nice to that, came the next week because they weren't dressed enough.
That's right.
That would come the next week,
That's right.
come to the club and became loyal supporters.
It's the soft touch that I was mentioning before.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that to me, like, and that goes back to when I was younger. Like, I felt like that. We call it the Nigel or the loner.
Yeah.
But, and this is what I loved about our clubs.
Mm.
I still love it because it's still there.
Yeah, man.
We created a family.
Very much so.
We had the staff family.
Mm.
We had the patron family.
Mm.
And that's what we created.
That's right.
Because I Love Saturdays, was it new then when I came?
Very much so. Yeah, man. 2014 is when we launched, straight after the World Cup.
Yeah, and the people that came,
That's right.
in fact, Eddie came. His
That's right.
sister, your
Yeah.
sister came.
That's right, Cynthia.
Sorry about
Yeah.
they got a few bottle service issues.
Shout out to Cynthia.
And all these people that were fresh 18s and now they're like, they stayed with us.
Yeah, well, I and DK will vouch for this, but I remember having the conversation with a few people in the inner circle and saying, almost like one of the telltale signs of success particularly as a weekly nightclub event promoter, is when you build this kind of family of people that are almost always there, and if they're not there, they'll show up the next week and they'll almost like be given excuses and almost like show you a doctor's certificate why they didn't show up the week before.
That's what I loved about it. Like,
yeah, so
I'd cop messages saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, I can't come this weekend.
there you go.
How is it?"
Mm.
And it's like, "Oh man,
Yeah.
we miss." And it's
yeah.
true. I'd miss everyone.
Mm.
That was, for me, that was the highlight of my life.
Yeah, yeah,
It was only what was our game time? 6 hours, really.
yeah. Sometimes more, sometimes
But-
less.
Who am I going to see this weekend? Who's coming?
Mm.
Who am I going to see in the line? I'd
Yeah, it's a
greet
big
everyone.
part of your identity, right? And mine.
Correct.
Yeah,
Like, and to me, like, everyone was family.
yeah.
It's a business, but they're family.
Mm.
And that's why I wanted everything perfect as well. So I did
Yeah.
become a bit of a Nazi? I was called.
Man, but you have to be. I mean, the one of the main keys to success is paying attention to detail. If you don't have an eye for detail, then you're gonna miss a lot of small things, which can quickly snowball into big things and failures and fuck ups. So there's definitely a lot to be gained from that, and we did. And my recollection, and even till this very day, I've thrown some shit at you, and every time you've stepped up, every time, to the point where nowadays we're fucking podcasting. What the hell? How did that all work out? Like,
Well, that's the thing. Like, you
Yeah.
say that, like, you were hard on me. Like, yeah, you were hard on me, but
yeah,
at a teaching point of view.
yeah,
And from that, I learned. Like, I can get angry, but no one really benefits it and fucking brings everyone down. And that's where you, to be honest, like, when I'm angry, like, I just pop. Like, I don't kill people. Like,
Yeah.
but I do. Everyone's fucking feeling it. They get angry, and that's what you've taught me as well, which
Yeah.
I have calmed down a lot.
you have, yeah,
But yet, when you would teach me, you'd also talk to the person that I had a fight with
Yeah.
and say, look, you
Yeah.
wouldn't take sides.
no.
Sometimes I was wrong. Sometimes I was right. Sometimes,
Yeah.
fuck, we don't have to fight.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think, part of because ultimately what you got to remember is obviously all of that responsibility is mine. You might be the sort of instigator of the fuck up or the other person or whatever, but I'm the boss, right?
Shout out to you snitches.
Thanks to all my network of snitches. You're the biggest fucking snitch of them all.
Oh, wow.
Not at all.
Please roll the footage of Ruben snitching on everyone.
Oh. Fucking hell, the snitches snitching on other snitches about being snitches.
Well, that's what's good. Like, everyone wants to please you, which, fuck, that's what we want. Like, if Rafa's
Yeah.
happy, he's not yelling at us. And, nah.
No. But I think, a big part of, many times I've been forced or I thought that I had to take sides with others, if there ever is a side. But, there's always two sides to every story, and sometimes you've gotten wrong, and sometimes others have got it wrong. But ultimately, we're all on the same team, and we all want the same thing, which is fucking, good, successful business, have a good night, meet some cool people, and tell some good stories, and have some good laughs, So I think that, we can't sort of forget that goal,
And that's like, so that's family, my family.
Yeah.
That was my identity.
Yeah.
And that's why it's been really hard for me, like,
Yeah.
that it's like a breakup.
Yeah, man.
That was me, like, not being able to do that, who I became, like, actually,
We're talking COVID.
we're talking about the motherfuckers
That's right.
that fucking,
Yeah.
dude, like, we're both
Frustration.
in the same boat. Like,
Yeah,
we know
yeah.
that
Yeah.
it felt like a breakup.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that we can do.
Mm.
And, like, I'm not going to lie, I did cry a lot.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with crying, man.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with crying.
Yeah, that's true. But we found different outlets.
Yeah,
and
man. That's where we are today.
which I like now, because when we do go back, I've got new skills.
Of course.
A new set of skills, new
No
talents.
doubt. No doubt.
And it's going to be a locomotive.
Yeah, man. I find myself not in that gear at the moment. You get what I'm saying? But and it probably makes me a little bit hard to get excited, let's say. But I actually get excited about the day when I kick back into that gear. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like running to be out there tomorrow, but I've got this feeling that the day these motherfuckers give us a green light, it's gonna be like fucking boom,
Fuck you, government.
But no, like here we are again. Wow, like dressing nice, going out, seeing everybody. I mean, when you see everybody almost every week, it's almost like you take that shit for granted, right? But I can't wait to go back and see my Miami peoples on a Friday and my Candy nightclub fam, all the Latinos in Sydney, dressing nice, coming out, partying, enjoying a great time, celebrating their birthdays with us, and me jumping on the mic on the stage and rocking it with DJ CVD. And
With the ones and twos.
On the ones and twos, and then with the awesome crew at I Love Saturdays with, the amazing venue Watershed by the Water, and shout out to James Stevenson and all those guys that are holding it down for us whilst all this COVID thing is happening and the return is imminent. But, and then obviously, all the staff too, man, because our relationship with our staff is beyond just work and, pay me and fuck off, like I consider, you number one, thanks to the work. But even people like Harvey, man, like Harvey's the fucking man.
Alex Zane.
Yeah, Alex, man. And
Janice.
Janice and
everyone
DK
in that crew.
and Elise and so many people that I can mention. Sunshine on the Latin side as well. And all the DJs and other MCs that work with us and stuff. And then, of course, back to the crowd. The crowd is key in all this. So fingers crossed, the world comes to its senses and we can all get back to living life, man, without fear and bullshit.
You want to hear something funny?
Tell me.
I'd have everyone ask me, Paul, are you all right? Are you all right? Because whenever I was working, I always had my serious face on.
Yeah.
It's either me and Josh that I always have told to smile, isn't it?
Yeah, Joshy. Joshy, he just loves hitting people, but Jocelyn Boxing. Shout out to my brother Josh, who also spent many times watching my back, being my eyes and ears, particularly
Especially
me being...
when you're away, yeah.
Yeah, especially because I spent a lot of time overseas and also juggling the clubs. So, when you're at one, you're not at the other and vice versa. So,
when you're away, he had my back as well. Like,
I know.
Him and Ruben.
Yeah, man.
Pavel.
Yeah. Well, I've been saying it recently, like he's got our back,
Yeah.
To get to me first, you got to get through him. Boom, Jocelyn Boxing. That's his
But another
new
great
slogan.
thing that you taught me was health, food, water.
Yeah.
I know I've got a long way to go, but I think if I haven't done what I've done, I'd probably be dead by now by the way I was eating before.
Yeah.
I love Oportos, but one big thing is soft drink.
Yeah. Soft drinks are motherfucker.
I'm not gonna lie, I had tried to have a can yesterday. I couldn't drink it. I had to pour it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, many years ago. I mean, I'm talking about when I was a teenager, early, like mid teens. I remember going from soft drink, which wasn't an everyday thing. Oh, it was probably every day, but only a little bit, to then fruit juices, and then over to water. And then since then, when I do have a soft drink or whatever, it's like drinking like fucking syrup or some shit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The boy's thirsty. But what I say to that is, I remember when we did I did the personal trainer course behind bars. One of the first things they taught us when we began the nutrition component was, when you're speaking to your client about nutrition advice, probably the first thing you should tell them to get rid of is soft drinks. Don't even talk about carbs and protein.
Yeah, but it tastes so good. That's the thing. Like,
really,
as a big boy, like, and I'm not making excuses, because
Yeah.
I've learned I might have a bad day that I might have something, but it tastes good. A nice cold Coke actually tastes.
Yeah.
But then look at the danger for it, the effects.
Yeah.
Like, and you're saying the carbs and all that. Like, I don't give.
Yeah. Well,
I
I mean, yes. I don't agree with you personally, but obviously, how many millions of dollars have gone into making these things taste the way they taste, and the studies, and how the palate, senses things, and then all their marketing and advertising and product placement and everything. So I don't blame anyone for saying, I love soft drinks. Fuck. You get what I'm saying? But I think that's a sugar train. Once you get off the sugar train, it doesn't exist anymore.
But that's the thing that you taught me as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's what was it? What did you say? Like, it's I have to retrain my brain.
Of course,
sort of thing.
man. Of course. Like anything in life, man.
Like,
You got to
'cause
reset.
I think it tastes good, but
Yeah.
now that because I love water.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, and
Yeah.
I was blown away about water,
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
And that was thanks to you.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you taught me about water?
When? No.
We were driving to Canberra.
Oh, really?
That's when I didn't know about what was his
Yeah.
name? Yoko.
Oh man, why is it that I always forget this man's name? He's such an important figure in the world. He's a Japanese. I'll help people find it online if you just want to have like an introduction into what water actually is. Emoto, Doctor
That's it.
Emoto.
Yes.
Right. He's a well-known Japanese doctor, and he did a science experiment with water. And what he did was, he would play music to, or say certain words to, water in its natural state in separate bottles, and then he would freeze it and put it under the microscope. And everyone is kind of familiar with that snowflake kind of shaped hexagonal pattern that the snowflakes kind of are made of the water, right? So what happens is he'll take all these samples of water and he'll say like hate, love, fuck you, whatever, and he'll play all different types of music and things to that water and then freeze it, as I said, and then they would all look completely different under the microscope. And actually the ones that were shown compassion, love, and let's say nice things and nice music, like classical music versus heavy metal or whatever, those structural forms, those snowflakes in the ice formation under the microscope were like really nice and pretty, and then the other ones that were played, hate and rock and all that shit, were actually deformed and really ugly. And then he also did the experiment on creek water that was like clean and of a good source, and then he did the same thing for like tap water and dam water and all these things, and there's a huge difference in the molecular structure of the water. Now that's not me telling you that. That's a guy who who's got everything out there for the world to see and no one can disprove it. This man, Dr. Emoto. So Emoto, I welcome everybody out there. It's on YouTube. The quickest of searches, and straight away you'll be hit with all those beautiful images of the water and how different it looks under the microscope after being shouted at.
Yeah.
So I think that all proves that water is alive, and we need to pay much more attention,
100%,
and you have been. Yeah.
Well, that's it. Like, I learned from you. Like, I won't drink tap water.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people who can argue with me and say it's good and this
Sure.
and that. But for me personally, like I distill the water, I put it into mineral Kagan, is it?
Zazen.
Zazen, thank you.
Zazen gravity-fed filter.
Correct.
There's many great filters. That's
Yep,
just one.
shout
of
out to them, by the way.
Yeah,
Good
shout out to
good
Zazen
product,
out of Korea. Yeah, check it out with a Z.
And then I put it through the vortex, which you taught me,
Sure.
which energizes, I believe, the
Yeah.
water.
So the 3-step process of the water that we do. So the distiller, and if anyone thinks that tap water is good or safe enough to drink over the years and years, I'd welcome you to come to my house and I will show you the bottom of my distillation unit. The smell that comes out of it after you process the water, only 4 liters. The chlorine, it smells like a swimming pool, right? And all the heavy metals and gunk that gets stuck to the bottom of the distiller. I welcome you to come and check it out. But also, I'm sure if you do like the quickest of Google searches, I'm sure there's got to be a million images. So the distillation process removes all of the impurities, all of the bacteria, all of the heavy metals, all of the fluoride, which is a huge one, which is so toxic and poisonous to the body.
What do people think that it's safe and good for their teeth? Where did that come from? Is that just doctors saying?
Yeah, well, that's dentists saying that. Look, I'm sure they can show studies to prove that. But they could also show studies back in the day that tobacco was safe, that asbestos was safe, and all these things. There is a huge mining/chemical mafia behind the fluoridization of some of the world's tap water. Not a lot of it. There's many countries in the world that will never have fluoride in the water. Number one, because they know that it's fucking toxic and poisonous. Number two, because there's even treaties on not forcing people to take medication. I mean, if fluoride is so good for you, push the whole nation or continent or world to take fluoride supplements the same way they do with, say, vitamin C and calcium, and all that literature, all that information is out there. Put out all the campaigns and the ads and whatever it is you're going to do. Give it away for free if it's so fucking important. But you don't force people to take something. Now, one thing that's a little bit controversial, and we're going all over the place, but fuck it, we're going in.
Fuck it.
The first experts or the first people or the first case of mass water fluoridization, I hope I'm getting that right. If not, blame the patron. Is the Nazis in the concentration camps during World War II. Why? To keep the population calm. To stop the revolting and the escapes and to keep people relaxed and subservient. That's the big one. Also, fluoride is the main ingredient, the active ingredient, or one of them in Prozac. And what does Prozac do? Keeps you calm. Prozac is one of those drugs, I'm not an expert. Prozac is one of those drugs that when you have that, highs and lows, it does that. It compresses the highs as well as the lows. I mean, many people will say, well, just hit the lows, but the nature, humanity, the human brain doesn't work that way. Fluoride is also the main ingredient in rat poison. What could be good about that? Now, they also don't tell you the source or the origin of fluoride, because that's another big one. Most people probably think, oh, it's in a lab and it's being tested by It's actually, my understanding is it's a byproduct in the creation of steel when they forge steel. And it's actually an incredibly toxic version of fluoride. So that's what's being put in our water with the excuse of...
we have great teeth.
And just one last one, calcifying of the pineal gland, which is the famous third eye, which is the source of many... mysterious sources of knowledge all over the world. The pineal gland, we are told, is calcified by fluoride. It's like the enemy. And what does the pineal gland do? The pineal gland is the famous Eye of Horus. The pineal gland is famous, obviously, by the Hindu. It's also represented by the pine in ancient art and culture all over the world, because it's actually, that's why it's called the pineal gland, because it looks like a little pine cone in the center of our brain, right in the center. And it's the gland that releases the DMT. Hello, DMT. Welcome to the conversation.
Yeah.
But funnily enough, you will then start to see that the pine cone is present everywhere, all over the world. You've got the famous Anunnaki gods with pine cones in their hands in the Sumerian tablets. You've got a massive, I'm talking massive, pine statue in the most central point in the Vatican. I was there last year. And as you walk into the first main piazza, the plaza, the square inside the Vatican, there is a fucking massive statue of a pine cone. And it's like, from memory, it's like a turquoise green kind of color. Like, what the hell? And I asked the guide, and I was like, oh, this is art. There's nothing. No, keep walking.
Shout out to Art.
So we're going all over the place, but fluoride in the water, no good. So then from the distiller, we'll put it into Zazen water filter. You can't. There's many options for water filters. Essentially, I've just kept the one that my family had been using, because a lot of this knowledge is passed down to me through my sister Gabby and my mum. But in the filter, even though the water is already completely clean and free of everything, in the process of the filtration, at least the Zazen water filter, it mineralizes the water. And also it makes it pH balanced, so it becomes alkaline, and it adds hydrogen as well. That's a big thing, people thinking that you can drink distilled water because it's super clean and whatever. It's not. It's actually really bad. You need to remineralize it, and also it's always good to get the pH balance right. And then final thing we do, which is what you mentioned, is the water vortex, which is a funny looking thing. We do look like fucking tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorists.
My water.
Yeah, that's right. So Phion, Phion, they made this product called Vortex, water vortex. And essentially what it does is, through that process of generating that vortex with your own hands and the two bottles, it puts it through rare earth magnets in the middle, and it returns the electrical current of the water. I'm getting told off.
The producer. Wow.
The electrical current of the water back to its original source, which is negative charged. Now, don't think negative as in bad. Negative electrical current. It's the same current that all life form has on the world. In the world, so plants, even human bodies, we all have a negative electric current. When we die, they say it takes 72 hours, both plants and animals, to then turn positive electrical charge, right? So everything in its natural, healthy living state is negative charge. Now, the problem with water is because it's being killed by this process of turning it into tap water, it's positive charge. So what the Phion water vortex does is it turns it negative. Now, these people from Phion, they've got all the scientific tests and everything. You can go and check it out. Do your thing, do your research. By any means, don't follow me. Don't do what I do, but have a look at it. It's all out there. I welcome everybody to check it out. And I can guarantee you that if you have happy, healthy water, it will change your life. Yeah.
You were telling me something about that the water vortex, like
Sure.
with wine. Like,
Yeah.
if I undo the bottle, if I
Yeah.
remember, and do that thing, it'll sit there fresh.
Yeah. I haven't done this because I don't drink wine, right? But part of the claim of Phion is that if you put wine through the water vortex, the wine will never go off. It changes the molecular structure. It changes the electrical charge. And that's it. Once it's changed, it's like bam.
Yeah.
More than welcome for everybody to do their research or whatever. Again, I don't drink wine, so I couldn't be fucked, So all of those things, in my opinion, is super interesting, and I think super important, and it's part of this sort of awakening that's going on in humanity, where people are actually paying more attention to, you know, their surroundings and what they're putting in their mouths and what they're drinking and what they're breathing, you know.
But see, you have the patience to talk to people about it. But if someone wants to challenge me about why I drink that, I just say it's my choice. Like I won't back it up by science, and that. It's just I actually feel better drinking that water.
You do, right?
It's better for me. I like it better.
Yeah.
I'm
no
sure.
doubt.
Like, how could I say this? They sound like a dickhead. Like, if you want to drink tap water, drink tap water. Like, I'm not
No,
trying
of
to
course.
save anyone. Like,
Now, the first thing you notice, you start tasting the difference in the water,
oh
right?
wow.
Yeah. So
And-
when you do go back to drinking tap water, I feel like I'm drinking a swimming pool.
Yeah, and to me, like, it's gonna sound weird, but the water that we make, it feels wetter, doesn't it? Does that?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think, yeah, because what happens is one water they call it hard water, which is your tap water. It's hard because it's, you know, I don't know exactly why they say it, but in my opinion is because it's, you know, it has that heavy metal content, that, you know, foreign mineral content. It makes it kind of heavy and hard. And then when you drink the other version, it feels like it almost like it flows nicer inside your mouth or whatever. Yeah.
and do you find like I drink less than if I was to drink tap water or bottled water? Like,
Yeah.
but I feel great.
More hydrated. Yeah, perhaps.
I judge it by my urine, by the way.
Well, no, that,
colour.
that is the big factor.
If it's yellow, go to hospital.
No, but they do say so. So one of the things when you're speaking to people about nutrition and you talk about water intake, and they say, 2 liters, 3 liters, 1 liter, whatever. I think it's different for everybody depending on their physical activity, size of their body mass, whatever. But if your piss is clear, you're out of danger. Now, it doesn't mean that if your piss is yellow here and there, you're going, oh my god. But you know, definitely your aim should be to keep your piss as clear as possible. And you know, if that's the case, then you're okay. But then you know, the conversation again should be back into the water that you're drinking, not only just keeping your piss clear. You know, because another thing you can definitely do to your water is add some minerals, add some magnesium.
I've started to do that.
Yeah.
I've started to do that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It tastes like.
No, only a little bit, man. You only need a little bit, yeah.
But another thing, 2 things that you taught me about water, which I'm trying to do, but the way we drink water is wrong.
Yeah.
I used to scull it, and I still do it sometimes, but I find having sips, like you said,
you got to sip all day.
drinking water probably, and
Yeah.
I actually thank my water, by the way. I bless it.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Appreciation for anything, you know. I mean, religious people have been praying for the food and everything for you know, for millennia. So, you know, I don't think it's too crazy for you to be thanking your water, man. That's pretty cool. But definitely the intention that you put into the water, as proven by Dr. Emoto from Japan, is a big thing, and people should be really watching that and checking it out, because as loony, as crazy as it seems, and I probably would have called you a fucking nutcase if you would have told me this, you know, 20 years ago.
I think Eddie's calling me a nutcase.
Yeah.
I can feel it.
Yeah, Eddie's like, what the fuck did I just get myself into?
What am I doing?
We just took
eh,
Tim
bro?
for one of the motherfuckers.
Stop talking about water out of nowhere, man.
Stop talking about water. I'm gonna piss myself.
But on the health thing as well, like
Yeah.
remember I was getting colds a lot. Like, I was
Yeah.
sick. What did you say to me? You rang me especially
Juices.
for that.
Yeah.
Start
Juices.
drinking vegetable juice.
Yeah.
If you go to
Yeah.
a Westfields, get vegetable juice.
Yeah, when you walk past a juice shop, man, get one. Yeah. At least once a day.
Yeah, but they're a
Yeah.
bitch to clean, aren't they?
The juices, yeah. Slow press juices
I just-
in particular.
I just
But that's
if
why
I,
it's
if I was
called
rich,
slow.
if I was a millionaire, I'd be throwing them away daily.
Yeah, true. Well, you know what, man? I've actually been thinking, because, so when you go up to commercial, I'm sure there's got to be some options that are much more expensive, but much more, you know, easier and quicker to use.
Have you seen the commercial ones? They look like the Breville $50 fucking.
Yeah,
Kmart, Big W.
The search continues. I did come across one once in one shop, and I looked at it and I said, wow, like it was a fucking beast. I mean, I think the shoot was like that. You know, literally you put like a fucking cabbage down there or something. Not that I'd probably juice cabbage, but actually, yeah, I'll juice anything. But yeah, juicing's probably the easiest way to achieve a strong immune system.
And
By
it's
your
an easy
diet.
way to eat vegetables.
Right, 100%.
Do you use broccoli?
I have, but it's not. I mean, it doesn't really juice though, because it's quite a dry
Very
plant.
true.
Yeah.
Fucking, I even used okra at one stage, but then
Okay,
it got too gooey.
I've never done that. Yeah, I've
Just
never done that.
don't.
Yeah.
If you're out
Yeah.
there, don't.
No, but definitely your good staples, like obviously beetroot's a big one, kale, celery. You can add some apple. Make sure they're organic, because they're quite a toxic fruit. I think it's the most toxic fruit when it's conventionally farmed. It absorbs the most pesticides and fertilizers. And always try and keep things organic. Always. I mean, but if you can't,
Yeah, no.
yeah.
I try to. But I had a scare the other day.
What happened?
I went for a piss. It was fucking red. I was like,
From the beetroot.
I forgot I had beetroot juice.
Yeah. Beetroot
Like,
can do that to you.
Fuck, what's
yeah.
wrong with me? Oh shit. Water. Oh, beetroot. Because the mess is still in the sink.
Yeah, no, another one with your piss is asparagus, man. Wow. Do you wanna remember that you had asparagus like an hour before? Man, do a piss after you eat some asparagus. Wow. It's so strong, man. It's incredible. Yeah, interesting. I don't know why, but there it is. Talking shit and piss. Actually, we're not talking shit yet.
Yeah, we're not talking
I'm
shit.
sure we
Let's
will,
talk
though.
about fiber. No, I think we should go show and tell, because they're
Already?
gonna. Well, there's some good stories coming up.
Sure.
I actually chose the pictures myself.
As you often do, man. For
well,
others. Yeah.
because wow.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing show and tell, apparently. Well, here we go.
This is the Paulie Big takeover.
Paulie's taking over the show. So, as we do, we invite people to check out the images
So
on the
yeah, I
screen.
stalked myself.
And but hold on, man. Let me explain. Because we've got people listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and they're not seeing the video. So I just have to explain. That's my job, my responsibility. It's
El
a heavy
Mariachi,
burden.
please tell the story.
It's a heavy burden, Papa. Anyway, so we're looking at a photo of some wog wearing the woggiest sunnies you can think of. Sort of doing the sick cunt, holding his what would you say?
That was a white tie.
His collar, yeah.
That was a white tie.
What's going on here, Polly?
So this is Sensation White. We drove.
Okay.
We drove to Melbourne.
Oh, okay.
I was newly single, so I grabbed who I can, and it was good because my brother from LA was there as well.
Awesome.
He came. He met up with us.
Sure.
Or was he Canada? Fuck, wherever. He's a traveler. Danny.
Uh-huh.
Have you met Danny?
Shouts to Danny. I don't think so, man.
No.
No.
He's the filmmaker. Actually, they're all filmmakers. The
Really?
whole family, yeah.
So are you.
And I just came into it now, yeah.
That's
I thought
right.
I'd be the only one out of it, but fuck.
Paulie Spielberg.
Guess what my number one question was to me that night? I had about 30 people ask me, guess what?
Where'd you get your earring from?
Nah. Hey, buddy, did you have pills? You look like
Oh,
a drug
wow.
dealer.
Yeah.
Pills.
Yeah, because for people that don't know you do look like a shifty Middle Eastern cunt, yeah.
I'm a minion. I'm Kardashian.
Via Egypt.
So that was actually a good night. That was probably the first or ever big stadium gig that I went to.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just the different type of music.
What was the energy like?
It was amazing.
Uh-huh.
This was Melbourne,
Yeah.
New Year's Eve.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, they didn't last long in Australia.
No.
I think they did 2. I was at the first one,
Yeah.
so it was always going to be big,
Mm.
and then it just died up from there. That's the problem with this country, like
Yeah, interesting.
unless it's
Sometimes it's hard to-
stereosonic.
Yeah, sometimes stereo's gone too.
Yeah.
Long time ago. Yeah, interesting. The reality of all these things in Australia. It's a puzzling place sometimes. It's very contrasting. Next photo, please, Eddie.
We'll come back to that one. Skip.
Oh,
All right, that one. This is one of my favorites at Margaritaville.
yeah, good days, man.
Shout out to Javier and his robot.
Yeah,
But
man.
that was me attempting
Mega
to be a
Oz.
modern day Mario,
Yeah, that's right.
and he challenged me to the fight. I
Yeah.
lost.
No, that's a gun photo. I remember when it came out.
Yeah.
And that's, Margaritaville. I Love Saturdays in the background. We're renowned for our banners that you can see from the moon.
I love, you know what? I loved putting them fucking up.
Really?
I love putting up banners,
Yeah.
because it's like, we're transforming this
To Superman.
restaurant.
Clark Kent to Superman.
Yeah, that's right. To a club, and it's
Yeah.
like, fuck, do we have enough cable ties? Like, let's put it up.
Yeah.
I used to get told off for putting it up too early.
Yeah, you still
Which,
do.
No. I found stands.
Yeah.
But that's what was good about Margaritaville. It had
times,
this
great times.
balcony that you can put a big banner on,
That's right.
and we did it.
That's right. Yeah. And I remember looking at all of that with my eyes as an event promoter and whatever, and a brand developer, and thinking that's prime real estate, man. Like we need to have, because if it wasn't for those banners, you would just have like, you know, wire type fences, and you know they do
100%.
the job, but they don't look too sexy.
And we'd get, well, obviously we speak to a lot of people. They would be across the road, the water,
Yeah.
and they're going,
Cockle Bay.
oh, there's a club there.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about the Arch at Watershed. Like,
That's right.
oh, there's a club there. It's still
Yeah.
pumping. Like,
Yeah.
Margaritaville, we had lines up until 6 a.m, like, because we leave the banners out, and it's like, where do we go? They're crossing the bridge. Oh, look at that club down there.
That's right. Yeah, that was my kind of focus from the beginning about all of that.
Well, I'm not going to take credit for that. I'm the credit taker, so.
What? Brother, can you please give this guy a big round of applause? I want to give you a big round of applause, Paulie. You know why? Building up. Because you are the ultimate credit taker. The credit taker.
Well, to be honest, most of my ideas, I throw so many ideas at you, you just say, nah, yeah, nah, yeah.
There you go.
But it all sounds like, yeah. Next photo, thanks. Now,
Ah.
why am I all wet, Rafa?
Oh man, I reckon I'm up for. I'm definitely up for. What's it called? Workplace something, because
Whatever.
because man, this man, and that's why I say I've thrown him a lot of challenges, and he's answered all of them, because you know it fucking rains as it does every now and then, and we've got outdoor venues and shit, and this man's out there soaking wet, changing the marquees, whatever, just to look.
But
after
that.
our
I
people
love that.
and
Like,
everything,
there'd be. So Saturday, right?
Mm.
Friday is you know that's not going to rain, or it's going to rain. But what do I put up? Do I put the rain mode or non-rain mode?
That's right.
And rain mode would be the marquees, but then you'd have to be safety with the electrical.
Mm.
So I'd have to put it, and I do it personally because I don't want anyone accidents to happen. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, rain mode was not my favorite.
Well, the thing is, you got these beautiful outdoor venues with balconies overlooking the water and whatever, and the sky and shit, and you want to avoid blocking all of that up and covering it all up. So usually when we've got that dicey kind of weather forecast, there'll be phone calls during the day. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
But we'd always come to you because you'd have this secret app that it's not gonna rain. It's not it's 2 millimeters or.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that means, but it was like, is it gonna rain? Yes or no?
Yeah.
But that's rain mode.
Yeah, that's part of the events game for us.
I don't care getting wet.
The weather. That's one thing I don't miss, man, because when you're an events promoter,
Because it was already set up for you, mate.
no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the weather, loco.
Oh, that affects people coming out and all that, yeah.
No, Bobby, when you're a promoter, all you're doing, you constantly, I mean, from the week before, you start looking at the forecast. Oh, man, next weekend.
Oh, yeah, I
next
always
weekend,
look,
next weekend, That's just part of the game.
I don't know who that guy is in the back, but
Man,
when I was going...
Shasta Ricky, man, that's my tokoua.
Oh, is it?
Shana Saipe Malo tokoua.
Is that why he hugged me?
Tamasiti. Huh?
Because the next photo after that, he hugged me. I remember...
He's a hugger and a kisser, man.
Yeah.
Ask my cousin Pavel. He'll tell you all about that.
Oh, so you know him?
Ricky, yeah, man. He's
Oh,
our brother
Ricky.
from way
That's
back in the
Ricky.
day. Yeah, that's Ricky, man.
Oh.
We know him from way back in the day, man. One of the Tongan brothers here in Sydney, man.
That's the problem as well. Like, I know faces or names, but I don't know faces sometimes.
Yeah, we got up to a lot of mischief with him back in the day. tell you about it off camera.
Next. Next photo. Whoa.
Oh. Man, I feel herpes when I look at this photo.
No, they're lovely ladies.
AIDS.
They're lovely ladies.
I'm sure
Friends of mine. Wow. Disclaimer, please.
If I need
In
to
the camera,
apologize, I
disclaimer.
will, but that's what I feel. I don't know.
I was very blessed.
Go on, please. Yeah.
That was what was that? What was it? Sexpo in Perth.
Uh-huh.
I got to go to Perth because I was living with some boys that made porn.
Okay, awesome. Deviant.
But yeah, that was the girls from Penthouse.
Oh, they're Penthouse girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had a little stint with porn, no?
No, not me. Like, I was.
Nah, but I mean...
They did, but
But you helped out. Did you get to get any sneaky looks in while
nah.
people were doing the thing?
Nah.
Oh, fuck that thing.
So that's why it's not so.
Change your topic.
They're touching my tie. I didn't like it.
You wanted them touching something else.
I don't know. Wow, Rafa. Whoa, hey, whoa.
Well, bro, I mean, but look, I definitely think the chick on the right, she could potentially, because you got a nice smile on your face, she could potentially be
my hair, by the way.
reaching down and giving you a little tickle,
Nah.
right? Because I can't see her arm coming back around. Eddie, be my witness. Tell me her. It could be that her right arm is going straight down in front of him, and she's playing with his balls.
Yeah, she's got no arm.
Or either that, or she's got no arm.
Yeah,
there you
well,
go. Eddie to the
about-
rescue.
But look at my hairstyle. Wow.
Busy arm.
Now I shaved the hair. I think you copied me with my hairstyle.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Next picture. Whoa.
Okay.
Okay.
This is one of the more problematic areas of your life, isn't it, Paulie?
So I love Halloween.
Yes. Hence my comment.
I made this. It took me 3 weeks to sew.
It looks
By hand.
amazing. I wish I knew what it was.
It's a.
I wish it was quality.
What are those guns? The Nerf guns?
Nerf guns?
Nerf.
Nerf.
The foam. Wait, next.
No. Hold on, man. Hold on. Nerf gun? What are you talking about?
It's
What the
a-
fuck is that shit?
That's
ugly, man.
a gun holder fucking thingy majiggy.
Of course it is. Oh, you mean like you made a
holster.
Oh.
But that's
Is that a
cardboard.
holster?
That's cardboard. Well, they don't sell those holsters for fucking Nerf guns.
Yeah, they definitely will never sold that one.
So
Anyway.
my costume was a Texan Reaper.
Oh, okay.
The Grim
Sure.
Reaper.
Yeah,
The
I
Texan.
probably would have stuck with a photo of the uniform, brother. You as the producer should know a little bit better.
nah.
But anyway, next
You,
photo.
you,
please.
wait, hang on. You authorized that photo.
I thought it was a dead cat. And he was going to talk about how his pet passed away.
Oh, shit. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Next.
Hey, this is modern era now.
This is mine. This is, you came up with an idea.
Yes.
And it was called the birthday. We didn't come up with a
Yeah,
name,
the
but it was a
birthday
birthday
crew, yeah.
birthday train. So I go the extra mile. I bought myself. Remember, I asked you what that instrument is called before I ordered it,
Yeah.
and I was like, "What's a special? Is it a special name or not?" It's a fucking cowbell.
Yeah, but there was a couple of attempts before then, wasn't there?
Oh, we had a.
At
I bought a
other
drum.
Instruments. Yeah.
I bought a drum.
Mm.
You broke it.
Yep, didn't last.
Yeah. But you paid for it, so it's
But
alright.
listen, Papa, never give a Latino an Irish drum. Because it was a fucking Irish drum. Nah.
Shout out to Kevin Kelly, by the way.
Yeah.
And then I had this crazy hat, and it's like, fuck, just let people look at me, get attention. And you know what was cool
Doing
about
it
that?
well, man. Very well.
You know what your idea did was because people would say, "Oh, it's my friend's birthday. Can you do something for them?"
Yeah, bang.
Right? If I could, I'd do it for them.
Of course.
Great photo opportunity, by the way, guys. But hey,
Yeah, man, all of that. But at the end of the day, we're there to provide an experience and a service and, all of that. And again, it goes back to what I was trying to tell you before, this thing about like, fuck you, pay for this fucking table and fuck off, like, no. We look after people and even if you haven't necessarily paid for a VIP table or whatever, we try and accommodate as much as we can.
yeah, and
Yeah.
us being nice, we have people coming back, booking other birthdays,
Of course.
and booking me for the next birthday, and
Of
then
course.
my birthday's come up. What can you do for me?
Yeah, and shout outs to AP Media, a boy DJ Akaz.
DJ Akaz.
DJ Akaz. Man, he keeps telling me every time I have a go at him about that, he goes, "Will you make me a fucking vocal drop?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I will tomorrow." I've been saying that for 5 years. Sorry, mi hermano.
When we
I've got no
finish the La
excuses
Familia documentary, then we can get a vocal.
Yeah,
from
there
you.
you go. No, but shout out to AP Media. Also, big shout out to La Femme Creative.
Yes, that's Jasmine
Shout
there.
out to Ash and, well, in this case, the beautiful Jasmine Waddell there at the back. You can check her out on Instagram. But La Femme Creative with an F on the end, they're a big part of that whole birthday train thing, birthday crew thing that we do, the visuals and bringing out the birthday cake and the sparklers and all of that, which is one of the beautiful things we do in our events that no one else does. And that's why, we are where we are and also big part of being the good guys, man, which we are, with confidence, so thank you, Paulie. Fucking clown.
Fucking clown. Yeah, so I could never get the beat properly. Ting, ting, ting.
No, he's not the most musical.
Now I'm going to ask Eddie to say what this represents.
Fuck, this is just Paulie. Like, if you think of Paulie, just look at this photo, that's it.
This is who I am. Cute cuddly.
Yeah, it looks
And
like
then there's the tiger.
tongue kissing a lion. Yeah, no worries. yeah, man, another cool thing we do, and another thing we all get to enjoy, every weekend is doing these things. Most people would think, "Ugh."
I got the tie from Wish. I didn't. That's not what I wanted, by the way. That's not the tie I like.
Paulie's well known for his tires, by the way, fam. Today we went to pick up the brother Eddie from down the road to bring him back up to La Finca, and I realized that there was probably 10 fucking tires in the back seat. I was like, man, this nigga's real about his tires. What the hell? Oh, man.
What's next for us, Eddie?
Oh, I remember this.
Fucking shave, Paulie.
Yeah. No, man. That's the shadow, man.
That was
Melbourne Cup
Melbourne Cup, yeah.
2019.
Wow.
Last year.
You were hosting, like you were the MC there?
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
I got told to come. Free.
No, man, you know what I liked that day is that obviously you weren't there in any sort of work capacity. You were just hanging out with me, and I was there to be the MC and nothing else. But as soon as we arrived, we noticed that they had major door issues with wristbanding people and check them in and whatever. Because as good as they are as a crew and everything at the watershed, they don't necessarily run ticketed events the way that we do week to week and full moon every month all over the country and whatever. So for us, it was like, give it here.
I was even picking up glasses as well.
Yeah, and we walked in and literally we just checked in the whole queue that was there that had formed and whatever. So,
I felt good.
Yeah.
Man,
of course.
It feels good when you help people that
need help.
That need help. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And at the club, even on Saturday nights, I'd pick up glasses to help out because it's our club as well. It has to look good.
Of course.
I want everyone happy.
Man.
I don't want people knocking down cups everywhere because we got busy.
Oh man, of course. No, of course. And all those little bits is what makes our brand successful, and it also makes you who you are, Paulie.
Yeah,
my brother.
Next,
love you, man. Thank you. Whoa, what the fuck is that?
Eddie, we got in trouble one day from Rafa.
What was that?
Because we'd have a what do you call it? A function like full moon party, but the staff wouldn't get dressed up. We were told to dress up.
Yeah,
this is what you got, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's right. Paulie went all out, and Paulie does go all out, man. When he goes, Jesus.
But no, shout out the crew painted my face really well. Like they even and the tie I bought a white tie and I just threw paint on it.
Shouts to the beautiful Holly Edson and her crew of makeup artists that have been holding it down for us with Full Moon Party Australia in Sydney, and to all the makeup crews we've used all over the country as well, man. Thank you so much, because a big part of that event is obviously the whole UV paint and the UV lights and that experience, that very photogenic, very selfie friendly.
I got a few inboxes about that picture too, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, they don't like clowns.
Yeah, because that looks fucking freaky.
Guess what I'm dressing up as this year for Halloween? A fucking clown.
Oh, yeah.
Demon clown.
The way things are going, man, I don't even know if Halloween's going to be a thing this year, man. Embarrassingly so, but
fucking anyway. A Saturday too,
yeah.
Halloween.
Okay, please tell the people what we'll actually don't tell them.
No,
this is a
good
idea.
Make me sick.
No.
It
pisses me off because this year we should be doing big things and because we're where we are as a humanity and we're hypnotized by mainstream media, we are where we are. But
is there another one after that?
No, we're reached the end.
All right, can you go back to my father?
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Before we go back to the father, compared to Paulie, who always seems to wants to rush through the fucking photos and go and whatever, you're doing a very good job, mi hermano.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias, papa. He does it at the right time.
I'm learning. Just by the way, I designed this podcast. So,
all right, man. Let's get the fun and games out of the way, brother, because I know that this is a major chapter in your life.
This was a huge chapter.
Yeah, and this can be, obviously we don't have to be looking at this photo the whole time, but this is the segue, and I know that there's a reason why it's in there, and I know there's a story that I very much look forward to hearing.
And you haven't heard it, have you?
Not entirely. No.
Again, because I don't really talk about feelings.
That's fine, man. Yeah, that's fine.
But we'll go to the title page.
That's what we're here for. Yeah. No, but hold on. So I want to read for everybody at home again that aren't listening on YouTube. In loving, so we're looking at an image of a beautiful tombstone. Yeah, In loving memory of, so there's a Christian cross, and then it says, in loving memory of Edward Jack Balcaban, passed away 24th of the 7th, 2012. Adored son of Herman Balcaban, dearly beloved brother of Levin and Irene, loved father of Paul and Danny. We will always love him. God has him in peace. So God bless you, old man, Edward Jack Balcaban. Paulie.
So that changed me a lot, what happened there.
Sure.
So I remember very clearly too, as you would, something like that. The night before, we went to the movies with my work friends. We went and we watched Batman. That night I got home and he was on the couch, happy, and he was a sick man, but he was sort of battling a flu as well, and he was in high spirits that night.
Mm-hmm.
And that night, for some weird reason, like I never do that. Like I turned my phone off. Right, I had the alarm on. I know the alarm will go off, but the phone was off. The alarm goes off in the morning. I get a voicemail. I listen to it. Like who's calling me at that night? It's my dad calling for help on the phone. Voicemail. Help, Paul.
From the house.
From my mobile. Like, I was listening to the voice. He's in the house, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Calling, screaming for help. As soon as I heard that, I got up. I went to the corridor and I saw him on the floor, face down. I tried to turn him over. He wasn't breathing. I called the ambulance. They came within 3 seconds. Because I lived on Rocky Point Road, so that's always... This was 6 a.m. He had passed. I was broken. It destroyed me. Back then, like I wouldn't be able to tell this story. I'd be crying. But I had a lot of guilt. My phone was off. I could have done something. I could have helped him up and called an ambulance then.
Of course.
He could be living today. So the day later, I had because I didn't want to be in that house, that apartment, because they took his body away. We went to the, what do you call it?
The morgue.
Not the morgue,
That's a funeral home.
a funeral home, thank you.
Yeah.
And like they were trying to get me to sign things and like, yeah, we'll do this, we'll do that. Because the day after, anyway, that night
Still very raw.
Yeah, very raw. That night I had a vision to call someone, and I did, about to get out of the house. Right? So I found a place to live. Cleaning out the house, I felt so guilty. I felt so guilty going through his things. And I did, and the guilt, like, I don't know how to explain it, but I felt it was my fault. He was an old man, he was sick, but it was, I felt I was broken.
What did he die from, Paulie?
I'll get to you that in a minute.
Okay.
He was sick. He was actually going to go on dialysis. So it could have been a heart attack because he had his hand on his heart like that. So his arms crossed on his heart. And his mobile was on his pocket, top pocket as well, where he was. So he held it there. But 2 days later, I actually had a dream about him. And it was like, I'm okay, I'm much happier now.
Of course.
The house was cleaner. It's like he looked younger and fresh and healthy as. Right? But for a very long time after that, like I'm talking about almost a year, I was pretty fucked up. Because it was my phone. I felt that I was cursed. I didn't deserve to be happy.
Yeah.
When I say year, no, it wasn't that long. Because 6 months later, I'll get a phone call from a doctor, a specialist going, you're the next of kin. No, your father hasn't turned up for his specialist appointment.
Oh.
I was like, oh yeah, unfortunately he passed away. And then he told me all these things that if I had saved him, his pain would have been longer.
Yeah.
It was his time to go. But because that was my first death, my father, I was living with him at the time.
Yeah, of course.
And the fact that I turned my phone, which I never do, I slept through it all. And then through that, like you learn to live with it, the guilt, and know that it's not my fault. He was sick, man.
Yeah.
We keep people like living when
Yeah.
on medication or that, but
Prolonging the suffering.
the suffering, yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, back then, like I wouldn't be able to talk about this.
Mm.
But with the help with what I was seeing, music visions, and that's sort of why I got into the spirit world as well.
That's a beautiful thing, though. That's a blessing to have had that, because a lot of people don't have that. So for you to have received that, that's a beautiful thing.
But another thing that pissed me off as well, because when I was still crying like most nights, like I was like, my family, like, okay, when it was all done and dusted, the funeral was done, no one was around. In fact, one person said to me, "You remind me of him, I can't look at you." It's like, and I haven't spoken to that person today.
Was that related to perhaps others thinking that you should have done something else on that night, or
Who knows? They never said it. They never said it.
Okay, were they aware? I'm just trying to work out. You know,
Could I be honest? Like, and
yes, you can be.
I won't name names, but basically with the whole, because we had the funeral, then we had the reception after. They were more looking at how they would be seen by the other people in the community.
Yeah, that's a huge thing everywhere,
Like,
unfortunately.
for one, like, and I understand my mum wasn't there because they were divorced for a long time, and because I got to learn, like, if you remember, I said I hated my dad for a while, but then I got to love him and know he was a great man.
You're very lucky to have
He was
done
very
that,
loving, looked out for me. But all these people, like, hey, your family member just died. People come out of the woodwork, come to the funeral.
Of course.
Don't even bother talking to me.
Sure.
Who found the person? No one offered, hey, do you want to see a psychiatrist or a shrink? Or
No real support.
No real support. They disappeared. But at the end of the day, I've learned, don't rely on people. And I couldn't rely on people back then.
Yeah, I think, I think there's definitely a case where you open yourself up for disappointment if you expect too much from people, you know. Not that we shouldn't strive for always finding and being surrounded by the best of humanity. I think that's a beautiful thing to try and strive towards and achieve. You know, be the change you want to see and surround yourself and create that life that you dream of or that you want to live, no matter where you are. But it's a telltale thing. I saw that a lot as a wedding MC. You know, I'm not a wedding MC, but I've done, you know, a handful of weddings, a good few of them. And I saw, again, just this superficial sort of keeping up with appearances thing, you know, like
I don't get that. Like,
yeah,
I don't, like...
it's the intention. The intention.
But the thing is, like, why spend that money when you could be using it for
But
travel? Like, fuck.
Yeah, but that's also it's the So the people behind that funeral, the people who funded, most of the time is the actual family. They're also keeping up with the appearances. You get what I'm saying? It's a sad thing. But back to your story. So the old man was riddled with bad health, and if he doesn't die that night, it's a clear case for almost like, you know, prolonging his suffering, and he would have to go on down that path. So when did that sort of, so when the doctor told you that almost became a realization?
That's when the guilt
began to
subside.
Yeah, but I'm sure that's something that you carry either consciously or subconsciously still with you till this day. Because I know myself, I feel quite guilty for my mama's passing, of not being there more, of could have been a better son, and could have not, you know, dragged her through the 7-year jail and all these things. You get what I'm saying? So guilt is, I think it's almost like a normal thing, or something even that we probably need to have, because I think it makes us also appreciate and understand and learn from our mistakes and things. Correct. You know? So the phone off, and you didn't hear the old man. If one had a time machine.
But to be honest, like, I'd probably do the same thing. Like, I wouldn't change anything about my past.
It is what it is, bro.
It is what it is.
It's a very brave thing to say.
Yeah, like, I've learned, like, there was one case that I went, because at that time, like, I was so broken that I was going out drinking every Saturday night. I didn't do it during the week. I don't say I'm an alcoholic, but
yeah,
me and this other guy used to smash a whole bottle before we went out.
Yeah.
But I remember talking to this girl and saying, "Oh, don't talk to me. I'm broken."
Wow.
And like she was like funny enough, she was a psychiatrist, and she goes, "You'll be right."
Well, I mean, and that's like peeling an onion, right? Over the years, you've worked on yourself to to shake that off, and that's another thing that I like to talk about is these huge steps and these huge strides that you're taking on becoming a better version of yourself, which is I think one of the sort of ultimate kind of aims in life is to do that. The weight loss is a big thing.
Yeah.
And you're on that.
But even that thing that I told you about, like earlier, like recently, like if I came for you you knew that I was upset. You knew that I had something on my mind.
Yeah.
And you know that it was, like, I was thinking of ending my life.
Really?
You knew, I told you.
Well.
Oh, for the cameras, nah. But
No.
I was so broken. Like I gave myself a time stamp. Like to be honest, like last Saturday would have been the day I would have committed suicide if we didn't talk. If I kept it all to myself, and this is why it's important
To speak to someone.
Speak to someone.
Yeah.
See, I'm lucky. I'm blessed that I got you guys. Like, there's some people like that are blood. Like, I wouldn't tell because I don't want to dampen them with those thoughts. Like, I don't want to put them that they feel guilty. But I know you could. You're there for me always.
Yeah.
And I know that you can handle that.
Yeah.
And I don't think I told you that I wanted to end my life. I didn't have a due date.
No.
I gave myself a due date. After my sister's wedding, the week after, was the day I was going to do it, the Saturday night. I was going to get dressed up. We've gone to the bush, the national park.
Yeah.
Just walk through bushes. Who knows what would happen. But
fuck, man.
I'm here.
Yeah. I mean,
you're all stuck with me.
Nah, I mean, I want to say that I'm worried, but I'm not, because I'm here, and you can come to me with these things, and we'll always find a solution, and also because I know you've turned the corner.
You knew my energy was off.
No.
You said it.
No, that was clear.
What'd you give me?
We had a party that night. Let's just say.
We had a party.
And ACAS was the witness, AP Media. So I guess word to the wise, that would be at least your second suicide conversation, serious suicide conversation.
Like the feeling that I had.
Yeah.
I felt like my blood pressure was really, like, I didn't feel, and that's why, like, I try to go to the gym those weeks, those 2 weeks, but my energy, and I wanted to go to the gym, like, I wanted that energy, the high energy who I am.
That's right.
That the energy that I had wasn't there.
Yeah.
Until we had that conversation.
Yeah.
And it's not like we did something crazy after that. Like,
No.
Like,
No. That was a like a reward almost, you know.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. And the fact that, like, we turned that around.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Like, because I don't want that feeling. I don't like that feeling.
No one does.
I didn't want to expire.
Yeah. Look.
By the way, like, I'm fine now.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying. I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
Yeah.
I'm not worried. Because I know.
And everyone out there, I'm fine. All right.
Yeah,
I don't want phone calls.
Yeah. No. I mean it, and I know it, and I'm not trying to make myself out to be anything, but I know that our relationship is that you would never do that without at least speaking to me about it.
And that's 100% true.
Yeah, no, and you also know that whatever time of the day or night it was, if that was the case, I'll get to wherever you are, and we'll sort all that.
When that started happening, you called me.
Yeah.
You actually called me that. It's like, Paul, you're right. Stop doing this. Stop watching the news. Stop.
Yeah.
Like, remember that?
Yeah.
It was
I could
like
see
that
the
2 week
downward
cycle.
spiral. Yeah. I could see the downward spiral.
And I didn't go do drugs. I didn't go drink alcohol.
Shame.
But I was, I was actually planning it. I knew what I was going to do. You would have found a USB on my bed with a video. Had to be production.
Wow.
But no, I'm not doing that, man. I'm not. And that's why I will listen to people. I will listen to them.
Yeah, you got to listen to people, man.
And what's great about this podcast, what is great, like, everyone has troubles. We're not the only ones.
Yeah.
And I love so far whoever people have gone back up. They get knocked down, they get back up.
Yeah.
Everyone that
Yeah.
and their stories and all that. And now it's like this is our baby that I want to see fucking explode. Not explode. Sorry, I'm not. I'm Armenian.
Explode.
I don't believe in
expand.
flow.
Expansion.
Expand. It's the same.
Yeah.
But no, thank you very much.
Nah, man, what are you thanking me for? I thank you. Paulie, my man. No. Look, I second that. And it is amazing. And look, I knew coming into this project when I began to sort of dream it up in my head that these stories needed to be told, and it was going to be, you know, a great thing to do, and that you want to kill that mosquito, or you want me to do it?
Fucking last
I
night.
bet that'll get,
Fucking mosquitoes.
Creek. We've got a creek running through the property, and so that we get a few mosquitoes around. But
anyway.
anyway,
You know what's funny about you? Like
I hate mosquitoes.
you put seeds in people. I've noticed.
How's
It's
that?
like because I know when you do it, like you put seeds. But the podcast, you gave me the opportunity and like find how they do it,
Yeah.
and then you put it together.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
for funding my podcast. But no, it's been great. Like you gave me the opportunity to learn things as well.
Yeah,
Editing.
Thank you, man.
Fuck, I never thought I'd edit.
Well, you know, as I told you from the start, Paulie, when you jumped over to, you know, full time essentially, even before then, but I think I remember having that big conversation with you where it's like, look, bro, I don't know where this is going to end, but I think it's going to end pretty good. And along the way, we're going to have a fucking great time, you know, and learn a whole bunch of things. And I hope that that's what everyone around me kind of understands as well, that even though a lot of this is about creating wealth and paying the bills, I think there's so much more to it. And I try to surround myself with people that have that depth and have that understanding and that little bit of that vision and that dreamer in them to... It's almost like the inner child, you know. Fuck it, this, you know. What do you want to do? Hey, man, let's do a podcast together. You know, like and I definitely will say without any reservation that none of this would be possible without you.
And you, because you funded me. Thank you.
No. But hold on a second. You know, this is my show technically, right? But so it's not for you to say that to me. It's for me to say to you. You understand what I'm saying, Paulie? As my man, to say thank you for your hard work and your dedication in not only with this show, but also back again to my event company, and to all the things that were done, nightclubs and all these things. And not only has it been awesome memories along the way, but I know that we're going to create many, many, many more. And we just put that call out there for that to happen. And hopefully back to expansion, back to our podcast, people can hear these stories and enjoy them and share them and hopefully take something out of it, because as I was trying to allude to before, you know, I was aware of the potential for ideas and inspirations and advice and all these things to come from our content, let's say, our guests essentially. But the feedback so far has been fucking incredible, man. And I'm not trying to big note myself, because this is very much a team thing, and it's also not something that I can take credit for. I am the vehicle for these stories, and these stories are fucking amazing, man. I mean, you know, to have, you know, the global grand master of, you know, a 1,000-year-old organization like the Knights of St. John, the Knights of Malta, a man who's done so much for his family, his community, and in business, like, you know, like Sydney Borg, and along the way he's kept his, you know, Maltese, Aussie, larrikin personality intact, and his optimism and his incredible nature and his beautiful daughters with him and his family, despite everything he's currently going through and has gone through. You know, I love that. That's a great story, and it's a great inspiration to be, you know, even sitting across the table having a conversation with the man, you know. Victor Valdez, el mariachi, last night. Wow, man,
that
the transformation from the Victor that I know to him channeling that mariachi shit right in front of me, shape shifting. That was fucking amazing. I get shivers just thinking about it.
I was blown away.
Yeah, man.
Because
you saw what I saw, right?
Yeah, I've heard him on stage. I was at live streaming with you.
Yeah, but you don't
just-
see that.
I don't, because there's all lights happening.
Of course.
But he was here.
Man, that man is something else, man. Victor Valdez, shout out
true
to you, my
entertainer.
brother. God bless. Incredible, man. And then obviously when you hear his story, as I said before, you find out that
Podcast coming soon.
Compared
It's already
to,
been.
it's already been out there. We pre-record shows. We don't go live. So when you hear his story, you work out that this is a proper academically trained, university trained, professional artist slash performer slash dancer. Like a proper, let's say. Ruben Mas. Incredibly powerful podcast.
Very powerful.
The amount of feedback coming in for my brother's story, and I was there, man. I was fucking there. I was there for the ride. So I know what he's talking about. But even then, what he had to say blew me away.
100%. I've been living with him for 3 years?
Yeah,
I don't think I know him.
exactly.
He's wow.
Man, and then the hits that guy's copped on the chin, man, motherfucker. I mean, wow. Nick Karagianis, another one, talk about copping hits on the chin and still coming out, the fucking line from Homebush, shh, 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 shout out to the brother Nick. What an inspiration and what a generous, giving heart and community driven and person that he is, and brother and life brother. And we were incredibly fortunate and blessed quite recently to do a 3-night ayahuasca ceremony together. Funnily enough, this year the shamans changed the name from 3-night intensive to 3-night expansion. Talk about synchronicity. But I mean, the bonds that were already very strong with this man, and it's a man that I've felt that I've known for a long time, a lot longer than I have actually known him for, and who's never let me down. And I hope that I've never let him down either. After this 3-night weekend, I mean, wow.
I don't think I can do a 3-night.
Yeah, you probably say that now because, you're a spring chicken. But, it's like anything, hermano, like if someone said to you today, you got to run 10 kilometers, you probably go, fuck, I'm lucky to run 1. But first you run 500 meters, then 1 kilometer, then 2, then 4, then 8, and before you know it, you're running 10.
Give me 6 months, I'll be running. That's my promise to you.
Yeah, well, I wanna. Probably that's something that we can end on, Paulie, because coming soon. But the story is amazing, guys. Please support, share. Tell the world about these stories. Other podcasters out there, please, man, get these people on your shows. Get me on your show. Try me. And anyone out there that wants to share their story and be heard, feel free to contact us. We do have a schedule and whatever, and we're doing our best with what we can. But we'd love to be that vehicle. And ultimately, it is very much de corazón, from the heart, as much as it is from elsewhere. And yeah, man, that's what we're here for. Expansion. But Paulie, your weight, man. Let's talk your weight, because you've been a stubborn motherfucker to get this shit off. It's been with you essentially all your life. So what the fuck are we going to do to get this shit off for once and for all? Because you've had a couple of good goes at it. You were doing really well, including right now you're doing really well. But it's not happening. So what do we need to do to turbocharge your shit? What message do we need to cut through? What button do we need to push?
Well,
what lever do we need to pull?
To be honest,
Tell me.
To be honest, this last 2 weeks, I've started a new routine about life.
Yes.
So
It's a challenge.
I'm fine tuning it.
Yeah.
But I'm back
life.
on, back on the, not the gear, but I'm back on track.
Yeah. Back on track.
So my promise to you, my brother,
Yes,
6
man.
months, you will see a big difference.
Okay, beautiful.
I can't run on a treadmill because you've seen me at the gym. We train together.
Yeah.
But no,
You're not
this is serious.
athletically
This
gifted.
is life threatening. I don't want to be what happened to my father.
Sure.
And if I go with, the soft drink, I've had a few slip ups. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's fine.
But at the same time, I'm not drinking soft drink.
Yeah.
Here and there, might have a sip or two, but
Yeah.
But you know what?
That's already
I
a
don't
big
even
step.
like that, man. Like, that's a waste of money now. I'd buy a can and it's like I'd pour it out. Like,
Yeah,
what the
well, look,
fuck?
man. You gotta mourn the death of the old you and accept
Yeah.
the new one, and you have to yeah, man, you have to welcome the new and get rid of that old, man. It's like, shed that skin and then welcome in the new you and realize that obviously it all starts in your head, but it's your everyday actions. It's all the little things. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Step by step in man.
But one thing I don't like, and you've helped me along this way, like, I don't like calling it a diet.
It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle.
That's the thing,
change.
like, everyone
Yeah.
calls it a diet and they think they're being cool by saying it's fucking going on a diet.
No.
Like, you're not helping me. You're just making me resent you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But the thing with you is you don't say go on a diet. You show me how to fucking eat. You show me. You actually correct me that, hey, Paul, you're eating a bit too fast.
Yeah.
Like, you make me delicious food. Like, fucking being on a diet, you don't have to
I
have
don't make
oats.
a delicious food, my brother. My
Tao,
beautiful
Tao.
woman, Tao
Nah, but
does,
you-
man. My
I learned-
blessing from heaven.
Yes.
The beautiful Tao.
Yes.
I'm the luckiest guy in the world.
And whose avocado mash is that? Who designed that one?
That's
That I
my
made?
one.
That's your one? Well,
my
I made it better.
You did?
I put salmon in it.
No, I don't. Salmon's no good. It's a very toxic fish. Remember that.
Why do you have to be negative?
No,
All right,
man,
no more
if-
salmon,
if
guys.
If you
I
can
save
find,
$3
if
a
you can
can.
find some, sort of wild version of salmon, but animals that are in threat of extinction and destroying their habitats, man, you can have a lot of fun with bread and avocado and goat's cheese and other things. It doesn't necessarily have to be salmon. And I do eat meat from time to time. You know that. We just had some chicken right now, organic, pasture raised, whatever, but free range, but no, man, yeah, bro. Look. Everything that I can pass on to you is being passed on to me. Like, no one's born knowing everything, and I just like to. I'm one of those guys that almost like I can't keep my mouth shut because I just love sharing shit like that. I mean, what's the point of learning things if you're just gonna fucking sit there and not share it with others? Like, that's
No, 100%. But the thing is, like,
Yeah.
you're not doing anything different to what you're teaching me. You're actually
I'm living it.
you're living it. You're
No, I'm living it.
And
yeah.
for me, like,
yeah,
for me to do that, like, that's a big step too. Like,
yeah.
fucking, I love eating good food, but fuck, you can eat good food that is healthy for you.
Oh man, that's the other
Vegetables
thing too.
are-
I hear people make silly comments like, "Oh, everything that tastes good can't be good for you." I'm like, nah, dude, no way. There's so much beautiful, lovely, nutritious food. Healthy.
And like, even like
Yeah.
for me, like, I love going to the gym.
Yeah,
I love actually going to the gym, and I learn from people as well. I watch what they're doing, their techniques,
yeah,
and what works for me. I do that. But you've taught me some good things too. Like,
yeah.
like,
I know my way around the gym. And,
yeah.
yeah.
And one thing is, stop making those silly faces, Paul.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll tell you a funny story. No, let me tell you a funny story about that because this goes back to before I went to jail. Let's say 2002, 2001. I was living in Kensington, Anzac Parade, and I used to see one of the big Cuban boys in Sydney because I don't know if you know this, but there's a few Cubanos, Cuban boys, maybe women as well in the world that are fucking machines. Like they're fucking $1.95 m, 110 kilos lean, big, and that's where you get all these mad baseball players and shit from. Anyway, I three of them come to mind. One of them is my brother Michel. But anyway, we're not talking about him. Shout out to Michel. Que hola, mi pana. Acere. Que hola, acere. And all my people from Cuba. I'm at the gym, and in comes this monster. And, big black guy. And, looks like this, and he's all serious and shit. But him being Cuban and me being, Rafa and, familiar and everything, as soon as he saw me, he's like, hey, ¿qué hola, Cere? ¿Cómo estás tú? ¿Qué estás haciendo aquí? No, mi hermano, no. Vamos a trabajar. Claro, mi hermano, vamos a trabajar juntos. We're going to train together, man. Of course. What are you talking about, man? No, claro, no. I didn't know you train him, man. Oh, my God. I'm so happy to see you, man. El Rafa. Motherfucking MC Rafa. Him, man. Yeah, no, let's train. So, boom. I start training with him. He's fucking 10 times bigger than me. I'm like this, especially back in those days. And the first thing he says to me was, no, papi, you're doing something wrong. I'm like, fuck. 2 minutes into it, these guys, not even 30 seconds into it, these guys already, stop. You're doing something wrong, man. Look, the first thing you gotta do, man, don't train with your face, Papa. Relax your face, Papa. Look in the mirror. What are you doing this for? No, relax your face. You gotta look good always, man. If you do too much of that, your face is gonna get ugly. So since then, I try to be aware of the face, and let's face it. When you go to a gym and you see boys training, what do you see? Everyone's going, there's no need for that shit. I mean, look, you know, sometimes you got to go there, but, anyway, and you're breathing.
Yes.
Because a lot of people don't breathe.
Yes.
In normal life, let alone the gym.
That's actually like what I'm learning as well, to breathe properly.
Always, hermano. The most important thing, remember the rule of 3, and I think I've told you this already, and this is what I say to people when I talk to them about water and about air. The rule of 3. 3 minutes without breathing, you die. 3 days without water, you die. 3 weeks without food, you die. Society is really good at focusing on the food thing, But when you think about it, it's the least important out of the 3, because you can go 3 weeks without it. Just as a reference point with how the body works. Water and air are a lot more important than you think, and particularly air. And unfortunately, in Western societies, there's not much stress put on the relevance of breathing. In Oriental, ancient societies in particular, the breathing, the meditation, the Tai Chi, all these martial arts and things, they used to encourage that a lot. Even if you look back at like samurai history and all these, Asian cultures. But we're donkeys, man. We're fucking donkeys. We don't even breathe properly. And these things should be taught openly in school. We should be taught how to breathe. So breathe, man. Breathe through the nose, out through the mouth. Simple things, But yeah, man, we're all for that, man. Becoming better versions of ourselves. That's what we're here for. And again, all I wanted to say was full power to you, Paulie, for everything you've done for me, my family, and become a brother to me, a life brother to me, and we don't share the same blood, but we're family all the way, man.
100%.
So, yeah, man. So and this has been fun, man.
Yeah.
You kind of sprung it on me a little bit, I must say.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry, but it was like, yeah, we're gonna shoot a podcast. I'm the guest. And I was like, okay, well, better talk to Eddie then.
Thank you, Eddie, by the way. Wow.
Yeah, man. Eddie M's the man, bro. Guys, I want to see you again, Eddie. I want everyone at home to see you, man, particularly the young mummies.
On the camera. You.
Yeah. Was he going to come around?
No.
Now, I want people to see my man Eddie because I want to ask him a couple of real quick questions on camera. ¿Qué pasó, papá?
Are you on camera,
There
Fop?
he is. Oh, man. Smooth looking Latino, papi. ¿Qué pasó, papá? ¿Cómo estás, negro? My man. Man, Eddie M, man, I mentioned it before, the music, the beats are coming, man. Excited?
100%.
We threw it down towards Ese Nacho as well, man. You saw the email, he replied back saying, oh shit, this beats are fire, man. Yeah, so lots of good things coming, man. Exciting times for me and exciting times for you, bro. Fuck, So, you go, Paulie. Policing. Patrolling.
Telling me off, man, already.
Yeah. And there's a psychedelic line behind Eddie there for all those that are getting sneak peeks. Because a lot of people write to us about the studio. It's like, oh man, what about this and what about that and the Buddha and blah, blah. So yeah, so this is what you guys normally don't get to see now. The psychedelic line behind there is something I bought on a beach in Bali. And right at the back of the top there is the Ankh that I bought in Egypt, papyrus.
The one on top of the door.
One on top of the door. And Eddie's being the model for us. Up there, man, that thing that you see. Yeah, up at the top. Yeah. And there's just sound panels to make the room sound as good as possible, which was another challenge along the way, wasn't it, Paulie? Eddie, papá, muchas gracias, negro.
No worries.
Thank you so much, man. God bless. Thank you in advance. And look forward to doing much more. Eddie and I are going to be hanging out the weekend, making some beats, working on some music, and that's something that that's very much coming your way soon. But Paulie B, Thank you, man.
Thank you.
It's been a real pleasure, mi hermano. God bless you, man.
Thank you for having me on
God
the
bless you
podcast.
and yours. Man, yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Expansion.
Yeah.
Expansion.
Expansion. We always joke about that shit. Expansion.
we had the intro already, and the fans. We had the intro and we thought it's pretty quiet. We need to have some sort of sound.
Look, ultimately,
I don't know, Eddie, can you make me a beat for it?
ultimately,
Intro?
no,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, Rafa.
Stop that right there. No. Nah, you know what it is, hermano?
Expansion.
You can't top that. You can't top that. No. All I was gonna say is, fuck, trying to be serious here, man. No. All I was gonna say is, whatever, like, it's like when you're doing music in general, or any production or anything, and people that work in editing or any editing will tell you this. You hear that shit over, enough times. Doesn't matter, man. It can be the best sounding thing ever. After a while, you're gonna be like, nah, turn that shit off. So instead of getting upset, let's make fun about it. And
I
that's
got
what
an idea.
Okay.
Because I miss it so much. Let's get Anna to record it. Going, dang you!
No, that's one trick I can not use in my life. Thank you
Shout
so
out to
much,
you
Annalise.
guys.
It was a birthday recently, Annalise. Shout out to the beautiful Annalise and DK Thomas as well, the brother.
Say his name again. Full name.
Daniel DK Thomas. I got it, bro.
See,
Don't worry. No, I was
I'm
pretty
gonna
sorry
edit
for
it
that
with
too.
you saying it wrong again.
Yeah.
Power of editing this summer.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Done.
It's Friday. Eddie and I are gonna go get up to some mischief, and you're gonna go home, I believe.
Yes.
That's cool, man. God bless you, my brother. Muchas gracias, papi. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in at home. Can you turn your mic off for me, Eddie? I want to know if the guys at home you can hear the difference, right? Work on that, Paulie B. Anyway, I got cut off midway. Thank you so much again for our foundation sponsors, Q Corp Construction, and also Crash Claim. Meeting friends by accident. Get that right, man. And big shout out also to anyone that has supported us so far via Possible, POZIBLE. You can pledge, you can support if you like our content, if you want to help keep the lights on here in the studio and support beautiful people like Paulie and Eddie and myself. Thank you in advance. Muchísimas gracias. God bless everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. To my beautiful guest Paulie, to Eddie one more time. Nos vemos. Ciao. Paulie. Congratulations, my brother.
Expansion.